Alrighty then, welcome everybody. Hello, how's everyone going today? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone around the world. We are ready for Thursday stock market action. And what type of action are we in for today? Looks like at this stage, a downward day again. Is this the starting of a little bit of a minor correction? Do we get to the 20 moving average on the daily? Do we go further? We'll try to answer some of those questions today. Obviously, a lot of you guys are keen. I'm keen to get into it. Plenty of action in the pre-market as well. We've got some movements. TLRY had their earnings. If you had a look at that, earnings looked pretty good. It was up actually in the pre-market. Bit of a surprise that TLRY didn't run into the report. I'm very surprised about that, I'll have to admit. Let's have a look at the futures for today and what's been happening. Quick shout out to the community. We've obviously got Dave here. Thanks very much for being the mod. We've got B Diggs, Pavel, My Tommy, Mark. Good to see you. Kevin, FC Shopping, QYB. Yeah, I saw QYB. Your socket did work. But remember, it's a little bit gambly, but welcome. No Name, Siddharth, so many, Patrick, everybody else is out here. So thanks very much for joining us for the entry into the market, the pre-market. We're now officially a little bit under 3 hours away from what could be a bit of a red day. What do you guys think? Start off here. Down or up today? What do you guys think? We are coming into support. Look at the S&P 500, 39.11. It really hasn't fallen that much. It'll probably drop a little bit more into the wick of yesterday, the kind of rejection area. Maybe that 3900 zone, I'm thinking. Nasdaq coming around that 13.6 as well at the moment. Nasdaq weaker. We talked about how there's a lot of overpriced stock currently in the Nasdaq. And this means that things like Tesla as well are going to push it around, Apple, etc. if they start to fall off. VIX is up. Anyone that's been buying VIX, we'll talk about that soon. Be careful, of course, if you hold VIX over the longer term. And what is weird is look at the metal that's actually standing out today. Does anyone know? It's Dr. Copper. How is Dr. Copper strong? There are so many things that aren't making sense in this market. Fishin Funk, hi from the USA. Hello, Fishin. It's Probot. Good to have you here. 3900 about right, says Big B. I think that's probably where we start. 3900 will be about right. There's weird things. I mean, you don't usually see copper having a great standout day into what could be a down market. Dr. Copper at the moment usually has been fairly in tune with the market. It's actually been a lead indicator. So why it's going up, not sure. But then I saw this article. Just coming into the stream. Mining stocks climb as copper trades near decade high. So now people are starting to realize, hey, it's getting up there. It's getting a little balloony, maybe too fast. Time will tell. I actually think copper deserves to go even higher over the medium term. You know, with these metals, they boom for a couple of years. So what I mean by that is you're going to have the first year is kind of hyperactive. So let's say the 6 months that's just happened was a year. Then we go another year and probably another half on top of that. That's my thoughts. Matthew T. Hang says, FX, what do you think about BBW? I'll write a few of these ones down. Jay Collar says, how's it going, Tom? Very good. Thank you, Jay. There's a couple of good little trades that we popped in yesterday, I think. We'll be a BBW. We'll put that over here. All right. I've got my little list set up and ready to go as well. Thank you to the 200 people already joining us in the stream for today. Lumber as well, says Kevin. Yes, so quite a few of the futures have been doing well. Copper here. Lumber generally is insane. Anyone looked at the lumber chart? Kevin probably alerted us to this. Look at this. 1,000. We go to the weekly. Okay, that's unusual. Rebuild economy, that's why. And then we go here and look at the lumber price out of control since the crisis. Rebuild, huge demand coming in for lumber there. Let's get started on talking about some of this market. I'm going to start with one stock, and that's going to be Tesla. Straight away, pre-market, 777. The 777 down 2.65 in the pre-market. Now, what are my thoughts here? Basically, I kind of feel like Tesla has broken a very critical support. We talked about how getting underneath these wicks was super critical. When we move underneath these wick candles, what are we doing? We're effectively pushing the market. We're saying momentum has changed and we are now ready for the next move. What's the next move going to do? Potentially the structural move of the 888 down through this level, back down to the 700, even the 650 structure, 680, this kind of area. I tend to think that Bitcoin likes to move in Tesla likes to move in $50. That is what I'm looking at. Notice yesterday's close, bottom up. Very classic of a standard close open type of thing. We're talking about the market going down like a 3,900 on the S&P. Why do we say that? Back into support. We'll take a look at that very, very soon. YH said even lumber is going crazy. Lumber's going wild. There is a reason though. The demand is severe and people are trying to, of course, build in terms of economies. Commodities up when is inflation happening? Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, is this like the hidden signal that inflation is really happening? We saw treasury yields as well rise across the board. Sal, don't worry, TLRY and APHA, we will look at both of those. That was very, very interesting. Kevin says, hoard lumber like you would gold. I feel like lumber might be a bit overdone there though, Kevin. That is a huge price for the contract. It'll have some kind of crazy swap on it. I'm feeling that. I found out that company, by the way, remember we were looking at MIC-T or something yesterday? So the reason the volume was so high is they actually had, like they issued a whole bunch of shares. It's like some brokerage. Did anyone else have a look at that after the stream? It was MIC-T stock. And I was having a look around and actually it's 60 million registered direct offering. This is what that stock was. Now, it is actually up in the pre-market. I thought we'd just continue following it because it's actually 4.22 in the pre-market. I believe yesterday was up in the pre-market as well, but that's what caused that volume spike. We have a look here. Always do a little bit of research, figure out what the hell is going on. Look at the volume spike. The volume was insane. It was followed up by a decent amount of sell volume, but that's what that was. It was an issue. Cami says, hey Tom, can you check Dogecoin? We'll check Dogecoin, don't worry. Brian Stonks, I like your name, Brian. Lol, man, I've been buying all these damn stocks all the way down. My conviction remains strong, but I'm buying up Neo. There's no problem with having conviction, Brian, is long, but I like having a bit of powder. There's nothing wrong with having powder and conviction. Some people have like their portfolios and they'll go like this. Like I guess you would say boomer trained. And what boomer training means is you look at portfolios and you go balanced portfolio. Now, we'll be looking at ARK's portfolio today and talking about some stocks in there. But what's a boomer portfolio? It's something like this: 60 to 70% in growth, and then of course that 30 to 40% in bonds, etc. Now, what do we think of bonds right now? I like bonds, but bonds are weird and very, very. You want to talk about the bubble? Where's the bubble? Here. Very creepy, the bonds, especially the Japanese bonds. The Japanese bonds are very, very creepy. Did you know the Japanese market, if you're not aware, go and have a look at how much is actually owned by the government in terms of their treasury. It's insane. QYB. All right, we're going to listen to you here today, QYB. It says, hey, Tom, could you check out ZOM? I hear March 31st, they're merging. What do you think? I don't know about the merge, okay? But we can look at it. And QYB came in. He was on the rocket ship the other day. Now, the question is, QYB, are you willing to tell people where you got out of that stock the other day? So QYB came in with a 300% up stock. It was Socket. And it went up, I think, about 700% by the end of the day and then busted down. We'll check that out. Were you looking at Net the other day? What's your thoughts from Darren? I am looking at Net. I think it's overpriced. I love the company. I love the company. I read all of its reports. I checked it out. The sandbagging, the report, if you actually read it, they went underneath what they've been doing quarter on quarter. And I think if you actually have a look at who's holding the stock, all of the founders are holding the stock. I did a bit of due diligence on that one. I do like Net. I think it's overpriced, unfortunately, but I do like it. I like all those security companies to do with the cloud, to do with internet, those types of ones. So let's get into some of the basics. Then we'll do Dogecoin. Then we'll do ZOM. Then we'll do all the others. We'll certainly check those out. Let's do Bitcoin first. What's going on in the Bitcoin world? Well, the Bitcoin's pulling back a little bit. It's pulling back down, coming back to our 20 exponential moving average, coming back to that 50,000 level. Is this a point where you think buying's going to happen? Thanks very much for all the subscribers coming in. Appreciate that. What I might do is I'll just fix this. I'm going to turn off the subscriber noise. I don't think I can, but I will remember that for the next stream. Because for some reason, Streamlabs, it just seems to stack them all. And then everyone that's subscribed over the last kind of hour or couple of hours, which is awesome. Look at them all come in. It all suddenly floats through. Anyway, let's get back into Bitcoin. Bitcoin here, 20 exponential moving average. You'll notice comes back down to the 20. Buying support, buying support, buying support, buying support, buying support. Two things I've noticed every time it's come back here. One, it's actually gotten through the 20 every time. Then what's happened is it's rejected with a wick. Use the original kind of thought process again. The wick rejection shows buying pressure. Do you want to be the dum-dum that tries to hold it up, tries to, buy that kind of falling knife? You probably don't. I don't think it's a bad level by any means. 50,000, testing it for the first time. Bitcoin's pretty retail-y. It trades very, very well. But if we get down, we're probably going to wick through a little bit. We're probably going to hit 50,000. Then we're going to spike back up, and it tends to close on this or very close to the 20 as well. So what if you saw a spike up and a close round there? Is that getting you bullish for Bitcoin? It has a better story than the story of just buying the 20 or the story of saying, okay, let's wait for the transfer, because we know that how often does Bitcoin come down to this level, guys, and it does this. Moon, all the way back up to very, very quickly. You don't get time. So that's something I've noticed here on this 20. The wick through, then the rejection, then the close. This one here particularly, I probably wouldn't wait for a couple of pips or a couple of dollars above this hammer. Then I would have taken it. This one, the wick. This one, the wick. Learn from the previous history what is the most statistically likely thing to happen. Dave says, good to see a bunch of new subscribers. Yeah, it's been really amazing. The support's been amazing. I'm not sure if it's the new intro. Not sure if it's the fact that we're streaming every single night, putting out videos. I can tell you probably can't see, but my eyes are getting black. So that's my thoughts on Bitcoin today. I do think we're going to get a pullback. I think the pullback will be into this 20. I think we're probably going to dip to the 50. We'll keep watching it throughout the session, because the session seems to get really good in about half an hour for Bitcoin. It goes nuts in around half an hour every single time. Greetings from Denmark. Mensa says, greetings. I've never been to Denmark. Sounds like a good place. I've been to some places in Europe, but not Denmark. Let's now go over here to the dollar index. So the dollar index just started tanking a little bit. And this actually is probably okay. It's come back down to a point where we've got the 90-70 previous resistance, 2 exponential moving averages. This is the point you want to see the dollar index start to find some support. So we go through, we get the Fibonacci, we get the retracement level here, and we say, what's going on? 38.2 fib, 50 fib, one of our favorite kind of levels for the dollar to come up. Now, it looks like a falling knife right now. So do we buy this zone? No. You never ever buy the falling knife unless you have a conviction to hold it or a giant stop loss. If you're trading, the falling knife is evil. Sometimes you feel like a god. Most of the time, you lose the dollars and revenge trade on some crazy stonk. And you don't want to be doing that. So 38.250 fib here, that's the level that we're looking at. We're finding support. This is going to be a very interesting one. We're going to follow it through today. Now we'll do OCGNs. I know you wanted me to have a look at ZOM. Let's have a look at that one. I will read more about the ZOM. Right now, 2.59% down the pre-market, 226. Thanks for all the subscribers, by the way. Thanks to the 430 people already here, and the thumbs up. Really do appreciate it. It's helping the channel grow and allowing me to do this. I'm hoping to be able to take this to the next level. So if we can keep growing, I can probably do that, because it's hard to do it and trade and do some of the other things that I do in life. Here we've got the resistance. We can see that underneath the 3. We also know that we broke under what was an area that we were finding a series of lower highs. So I remember this quite well. We've looked at it so many days now. We'll go to the 15 minutes. It's all right, Milos. No more spam. We will look at Neo. It's okay. We will look at it. But you don't need to spam, guys. I'll get round to it eventually, hopefully. Here we've got the lower highs. Let me just get this. Let me just get this area here. Lower high, lower high, lower high. It's a good story in waiting for the right thing. Now, we were here. What my thought process is, if you're going to go long, and there's nothing wrong with going long in these kind of things if you're day trading it, wait for it to get through these series of lower highs, get through that trend line, break up, come back down, test. You don't even need the test. In currency, I'd probably take the test. And then you move up to the 280 and then hopefully push the 3. Now, where it is right now is it's testing from the bottom up. It's testing from the bottom up. If that thing keeps going off with the subscriptions as well, what I might do is just quickly put it on mute. So we'll keep watching that one. Yeah, testing from the bottom up is... All right, let me do this. Just for a second there, we'll turn that off. All right, so we've hit the level. We've come down, and now we need to break past this. So if you're looking at ZOM, look for this level to be broken. Look for a close above this level. And because of the nature of this stock, because of the hype, everything else that's coming into it, it will blast and it will go to the 280, 290 area. That's my thoughts, OCGN. And then after that, we should be getting through the 3. You've already found 2 resistance structures. It's unlikely to be stopped by the 280 if it can get back up there again. There might be some lines here, like you're looking at the volume during the open, that type of thing. I do hope to have a whole bunch of accounts ready for you. I can't use my premium account at the moment because it has details I can't get rid of on the screen of other people. That isn't me, but the other accounts that are on there. But once I do get some more volume, I will be showing all of that. I want to go through volume analysis. I want to go through depth, all of those things with you guys on the stream and the way that I look at things as well. Siddharth, I know, uses that quite a lot, and quite a few of you would be. Depth is super important when you're considering technical levels. And unfortunately, at this point, using TradingView, we can't do that. And the other software I can't use right now. So 280, very, very key zone. I think a break close above this area here, above this 240 is going to trigger that, and it should be a very interesting time for ZOM. If you get news and news comes out, like any of these stonks right now, they really push hard and it could open at the 3 instantly. That's the decision you've got to make fundamentally a little bit more. Yakala says, hey, Yaya Khan? I'm not sure if that's how you say your name. Hey, bro, thoughts on AMC? I feel like everything with that company is up in the air at the moment. What certainly is, and a lot of that stuff has died out in terms of people have been taking money out of it and saying, hey, you know, I got the diamond hands for a while, but what do we know about the generation of millennials, the investors in there now? Technically, me, everybody else. We're impatient. Everything must moon in about 24 hours. If it doesn't moon, we go to the next one and the next one. That's actually the thought process right now. If you are looking at Apple and Apple returned you 20% over 3 months, for many people, that would be crap at this stage. That's not what people are interested in. So AMC, it did have a decent little close yesterday, 554, pre-markets 554 as well. It's holding through this base. These are a series of lower highs. It's not strong enough for me to say, okay, I'm going to follow this type of trend line. But you can see this is coming through. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Let me turn this back on. There we go. Super resistance through the zones. All of a sudden we break through. I think we're starting to form nice structure here. And AMC has a better case than GME for holding an area. We get back through 6. We've talked about it a lot. 650. We're really starting to get the hype train back on. And once you get the hype train back on, people feel it in that. It's like Jaws. It's like blood in the water, and everyone comes in to go to the moon. Definitely consider setting alerts for 650 if that's the type of thing that you want to do with technicals. You want to find these zones. GME is basically $60, but GME is really faltering. Look at this. The support is just not holding as well. Chuck Taylor coming in with 500 yen. Thank you very much. Japan's a great place. Heisei from Japan. Red MVIS. When I was convicted to buy in the low 20s, continues to buy on the average down. 1974 average, 1838 average, negative 70%, 7% pre now. I guess you say, you want to buy it at pre or wait is the question. Let's have a look at MVIS. Now, all I can do, Chuck, is obviously tell you my thoughts on the technical levels and where the support resistance is. I can't really say much more than that. But yes, I will have a look at this. By the way, Japan's a great place. If anyone hasn't been there and is thinking about it, it's pretty good. There's huge queues though. The best tip I can give travelers to Japan is if there's giant queues for food places and no one is Western, wait in the queue. It's really worth it. The food, phenomenal. All right, here is what's going on. So this is kind of like a classic. Things aren't looking great here on MVIS. Now, if you were to say to me, what are my thoughts? I'd be saying, okay, we're following this by a 20 moving average. All right. Not a huge amount of pullbacks, but we did have kind of almost pullback here. We had a movement up, we had a pullback, movement up. Last time, buying pressure came around the 20. This time, closed below the 20, started to form structure. So that could have gone either way. And now we're pre-market 1864, it looks like. What is this? It is a peak, a trough, a lower peak, and potentially now a lower trough. Now, 1864 is just pushing into kind of the previous lows. Where is this? So yeah, it's underneath there. So if it does open underneath, I think it could quite easily push back into this structure here, this 1750, hit the 50 exponential and then potentially bounce off. That's only on the 1 hour though. This is an incredible run on MVIS. Depends how your conviction is. Such a huge run. Buy areas though could all the way be through that zone. Look how far away it is from the daily 20. It's probably time for it to consolidate a little bit, especially with negative sentiment coming into the market here. Remember, we've got a 39.16.17. If the market got under 3,900 today, could put even further pressure on a stock like this. So I think I'll probably stick with the concept of it could get back into this structure 17. I'd be looking very, very closely at the way the pre-market works around here. And if you're looking at normal technicals, when do you go long or when do you get into it? Buying the dip, you're always more as an investor, like here. As a trader, you buy the confirmation. So traders buy the confirmation, investors buy the dip. That's probably how I would explain it. Jordan says, do you hold on NEO or sell? Well, I don't personally hold NEO. It's not really a company that I like from the perspective of fundamentals and technicals. Where is it right now? It's right on support resistance. Previous buying pressure was here at the 55.45. 50 moving average is moving up with it as well. We go through the history. How does that work? That has previously bought off once, the 20 before that. The consolidation's real. You do not want it underneath this zone. It must hold the 55.49 ideally. This area here must be held. Otherwise, you're starting to expose 45.50. Each $5 chunk on NEO is what we look at here. Each $5 chunk. Brian Stonk says, no way NEO is going into earnings and has so many catalysts working in its favor. So Brian, that's correct. If you have earnings on a stock, you're finding it at the dip. Obviously, the stock is going towards the negative concept. It's not a gamble. It's an investment decision you make at that point, and you're just trying to buy. Let's say you go with the Warren Buffett analogy. If you believe this is a great company and you're getting a good price for it and you want to hold it over the longer term, what's wrong with that? If you believe it's a mediocre company and you kind of don't believe in it, and if it went down 10% the next day because of earnings or 15% and you panicked and sold, maybe it's not worth the risk reward. The risk reward's probably only 1-to-1 there, especially at these valuations. The beep should be off now. George Hab says, TLRY looks pretty good and into earnings report came strong. What do you think? So let's have a look at TLRY and APHA. So TLRY here opening 332. So it did the correct earnings in terms of what the market is expecting. I haven't personally read the earnings. We do not have a daily close above 35. So for sentiment to come back in here, you want to get above these previous wicks and close above it. When you do that, you take out effectively a shooting star or pin bar rejection. You take out the previous highs. That's going to be the strong sign that TLRY is over. Now, weed stocks, remember, they burn cash. I've been in these over the years. I've gone in the pump. I've been in the dump. I've been in all of that type of thing, and you need to be very, very careful. Let's have a look here. 36.29. Resistance over here. This area here is the bit I'm looking for clear. And then 40, 45, etc. Be careful though with the way they burn money, but TLRY does look good in the weed sector. APHA also up around 3.11%. That had a long leg doji on it yesterday. Nothing much on the 4 hour here. Nothing much else to really state. It's pulled back. It's had that ARB kind of level. 2250 break will probably take it to 25 just because sentiment will come in. People will pile into it. If we're taking a look at all the stocks that are currently moving today. So what's the most popular ones? Let me have a look here for you. What is trending today? Just going to get it up. So this is actually not a bad place to look for trending stocks. It's obviously stock twits. It's pretty good. So we've got Plug trending today, Fuel Cell, Palantir. Did I hear ARK's invested more in it? Did they invest more in it recently? Or did they announce it yesterday? Anyone know exactly what's going on? Let me know in the community. George Have says it's plus 10 after hours. Yeah, I know, but it's now pre-open and it's down a little bit there, George. The market has dropped slightly in sentiment since that point. So it had a plus 10. It's about a plus 4 now, plus 3. CRMD, Ride, Workhorse, Ebon, Load, and Neo back into the frame, probably because of earnings. Talking about earnings, what have we got before the open today? We have Walmart's earnings to look at. Fiverr, interesting one. What else? We've got, of course, Dropbox. We'll be looking at the technicals on that one, see how that one played out yesterday. Coming into that resistance was a key there, and Roku. So a few interesting companies coming out with earnings today. So ARK invested more. They liked the earnings report. Did they invest more yesterday or has not been disclosed? Bought in on Tuesday. Okay. So this is for PLTR.
I'll take your entire stock.
$77 coming in with a $4 donation. Thank you very much, Sandollar. As always, appreciated. Give me a coffee there. We're down pre-market 25.38. So that's interesting that it wasn't able to break sentiment and push it up. Now, traditionally, ARK Investment, Kathy Wood, has pushed stocks. She's basically becoming kind of like when you hear about Buffett getting into a stock, usually that stock has a rise, especially if it's a new entry for him. Almost every position Buffett's taken over time, the next 24 hours to 48 hours has been a positive kind of sentiment into it. And then, well, it all kind of plays out. This one did not do so. Now, 25 is not a poor price for it. It's actually starting to get back down to that 22 kind of previous area of support. I feel like 25 should be a psychological number a lot of retailers buy. So PLTR certainly coming in today to an interesting zone. We'll watch this stock today. We will watch this. Or SPAC. I'm not sure what you asked me there, TDAS, but I will generally look at a whole bunch of things. Did I look at gold and silver already? Not yet, TDAS. Not yet, but I will. We can do it now, I guess. Market finding some recovery here. That dollar index is going to be key. Remember, 90.70 is the zone we're watching for today. $2 coming in from Jay Collar. Thank you very much, Jay Collar. You've been donating quite a lot recently. Appreciate that. Love these live streams, Tom. Can you take a look at GM? Yeah, we can do that for sure. So VIX slightly higher today, 22.8. What are we looking for on the smaller time frames for the VIX bust? We know the VIX is aggressive. It's a beast. When it gets through zones, it tends to spike hard. 23, yeah, it was the previous resistances. We've got a little 200 simple moving average here on this zone, but I'm thinking 24 is the clear crack level for we are back in some form of correction, as in pulling back to that 20 daily. That 20 daily is at least what I want in the market. I'm kind of hoping a little bit more. because I'd like to see it. I think it's healthy for the market if it happens. And then we can go to the moon. But we need corrections. We always do. All right, let's have a look at GM, and then we'll go into gold and silver. So GM, General Motors. What are our thoughts about this? Firstly, we'll do the top-down analysis. We'll have a look at the movement here. Breakout has been pretty nice recently. It's done 2 monthly rejections off this zone here, randomly 57, who knows why. We scroll down to the weekly, little bit of structure, fairly far away from the 20 exponential moving average. Okay, go down to the daily. We know that then it's hugging the 20 exponential moving average on the daily. 2 resistances, not much really in the structure. Pre-market, we are down 0.93, pushing us to a 52.40. So that would put us around the 20 here. Okay, go down the 4 hours. I don't really feel like it's like me thinking, oh yes, great investing value here or anything like that. Many things can play out here. You can get a double top where the market keeps coming down, breaks under here. The distance from this area here will probably push it back into the lows of 40. So that would be one scenario that could happen. The other scenario is that we pick up off this area. Now, am I interested in this from a trading perspective? Probably not. I mean, yes, anything above 54 will trigger buying, I would say, back into the 57. So if that's something you're interested in, that kind of couple of dollar movement, then I do think that it's very possible something like this. Remember, you got to get through these moving averages on a whole bunch of lower time frames. So you move up, you break through. When we get the close above, we basically correct the momentum. The risk reward may not be correct there, so then we have to wait for it to pull back. Often these blue chip stocks will act technically like this, and then they move to the 57. So that's probably my thoughts on the smaller time frame. We have a lot of problems. I don't like, say, buying here. It's not really an investable level for me. It's not really a technical level for me. But when we close through, I like that participation phase of the market. So thanks very much for the donation there, Joe Kola. Good luck. QYB, $1.99. Appreciate it, QYB. Says, keep an eye on CAPA. So we'll do that before we get into the gold and silver. This one here, High Cape Cap Acquisition Corp. So this was pre-market up massive today, 66.67%, 1730. The key here is probably going to be market capitalization size. I assume it is minuscule based on the price action here. I don't even have the figure. What's the market capitalization size on this one, Q1? Must be small as. So, all right, this one is clearly going very, very hot right now. News would be on it. Can I get the news for you? I probably can. Maybe someone in the room can tell us. It's one of those ones where it's going hot right now. It's definitely could have, $20 in it, could have more. 66.86% up is huge. We know that when everyone gets onto it, especially if it isn't currently trending as much, possibly it gets picked up more. Let me have a look at the current trend. I'm not sure which Reddit it came out of, which stream it came out of, or anything like that. But yes, 1730, $20 psychological could be the next point, and then maybe 25, 30. We've seen a lot of these SPACy kind of things go up to $30 fairly quickly. Good luck there. Jack Young says, thoughts on GME and AMC with the hearing pending. So we looked at the hearing, we looked at the actual stocks. I think AMC seems to have found a bottom. I think GME certainly could take more nosedives through negative press and just people in general losing confidence and going and trying to revenge trade their money back up. That's kind of my thought process there on that one. I'll continue to watch the story though, and I'd like to actually unfold some news with you guys about these types of things. I think that would be a good section, just to give my thoughts, get the community's thoughts on some news ideas and concepts that are happening. I'll be doing a bit of reading on the weekend as well, just to put myself up to space with what's exactly going on there. I saw DFV, looks like he is getting charged, is that right? Or at least potentially getting in trouble for what he's done. I think I've watched some of his streams in the past just to see how he skirted around the problems. And I feel like he was fairly factual when he was talking about stuff. So that has me surprised. They'll probably get him on a technicality of showing his account all the time. And therefore something like that. I hope they don't. What do you guys think? Do you reckon DFE is going to get in a lot of trouble? Let me know. Dale Bro says the slopes and falling volume suggest GM to the downside. I tend to think, yes, it is weakening there. And that 20 moving average as well, it's been hit and then it was hit again fairly quickly. Here is gold. So gold came down, it hit that level, 1770, 1765 is kind of the previous supports. It's bounced a little bit off that. It done so because the dollar index has weakened recently. We're sitting at the 90.70, an incredibly important level we looked at earlier in the stream. And if we continue to see weakness here, where does the market go next? A breakthrough here for gold could really cause some fairly heavy selling. Definitely 1740 seems a probable target. When you're looking at a bit of noise, what I like to do is actually use a line chart. And that will clean up because it gives you the close prices. And sometimes that's easier for you to see, okay, well, where's my support resistance going to be? Take the closes as they're the most key bits of information. This was the close. This is where we got to. See how things become simpler when we go to going to a line chart? So much simpler. So we close through here. I think down to 1740 and possibly even like a blast back to this 1680 zone. And I'm saying that because gold, when it crashes, moves very, very hard. Very critical point happening this week. May happen today during the stream. May happen Friday. Maybe it might not happen at all and bounces. But if it does, I expect these type of participation areas to fill. Silver, uncharacteristically strong here. It's doing very, very well. Silver, something squeeze. I've seen a whole bunch of articles coming out about that. Again, if we use the line chart, let me change this particular setting. Make this one a red one.
I'll take your entire stock.
Here we have the trend line that's coming through on the closes anyway. See how it gets simpler to see. We go here. Let's go to the candles. So underutilized. Look at that. It's hard to spot the closes. You think, oh, there's all these wicks. In essence, it's right on critical level right now. It's actually never closed below this trend line. And we spotted that by looking at the line chart. When you're doing pattern analysis as well, line charts will be key because if you see a pattern forming throughout closes, it's structured way better. I didn't know that, but when I found out about it and I thought, hey, that's logical, I added it into the way that I look at a pattern. I always go to a line chart straight after I look at the pattern, and I do so to see how it's structured. $5 coming in here from Sandollar77. He says DFE will be chosen scapegoat. So DFE, I guess. Slapped with a fine and or prison time, then back to business as usual. SEC is asleep at the wheel. $5 from Sandollar77. What do other people think about DFE? DFE, great opening statement, says Magnus. I will watch that at some point. Trio says no. I hope not. A few other people saying possibly. I really hope he is not the scapegoat. I really hope he is not the scapegoat because if he is, that's just so sad. When everything else that's going on, I mean, you have literal people shilling on the internet right now. They shilled coins back in 2017. They didn't get in trouble with it. You know, I try to be a little bit more careful about the way we do it. We're learning together, but I'm very upset if he gets done. Who is DFV? Says Kevin. He's the guy that was all over GME stuff. Jay White, I like this one. If you want, I never use this word, Jay White. He says, if you want to guarantee CCIV announced merger with Lucid is going through. So I think I saw the news on that anyway. And then he says, not advice. Don't use the word guarantee, man, if you can. Vetting, we'll have a look at UVXY. It's okay, man. Who are we talking about? We're talking about the guy that got the whole GameStop thing, or at least he's become the most popular person with that story. He's on Wall Street Bets. He's very well known because he had like that 30 plus $40 million account made from, I guess, 50 grand or something. It was pretty incredible. So silver today, we'll watch this throughout the stream. Very critical trend line. Probably leave that one on the charts. And we'll go from there.
I'll take your entire
SPY,
stock.
please, says Pedrola. We will be looking at SPY. Don't worry, there's plenty of time for SPY. Plenty of time for SPY. 99 cents coming in here from Jack Young. He's got a little face thing there. Face emoji. Thank you very much for the support. QYB, $4.99. GTECH EV company merging today. Crazy moves today, he says. All right, let's have a look at GTECH. Then we'll go over to UVXY and we'll keep going through some of the things that we always check. So GTECH, this is up huge. Another one of these QIB, 168%. What can I say? It's on another rocket ship. The pre-market's crazy here. You can see it jumping around all over the place. 1 minute's 1950, 1931. These ones, I do caution people. Look, they're not to do with sentiment in the market, but look how fast that's moving. What I always say is if you're going to do these types of things, it's like pure gambling, but in some ways, maybe it's a little bit different to pure gambling because you can use your TA to say, okay, well, we're going to use psychological levels to get out of these things. Do you think are you going to hold? You've got to ask yourself the question, you're going to hold this long-term, believe in it? Can you afford to lose that money? All these things need to go through your mind. But yes, this one here, GTECH, was alerted to us. It is up 138 right now. It's 18. It was 19 something when we first clicked over to it. Market cap size is very small. That's why it can be pushed around so much. We're looking at $77 million. So I think what the retail community to a degree has also found is news with the catalyst of puny company is a beautiful thing to be able to push it up. Also, this being EV QIB, that means people are hyped for it. EV, it's the next big thing, yeah? 1811, you would want to do some diligence on that if you could. Nick says, personally, either DFV is Vlad from Robinhood. They look stunningly similar. Or DFV will be the winner at the end. Look, I hope he does okay there. Thanks, Gwen, to the 783 people that have come out today to go through the pre-market. Appreciate all of you. Let's now have a look at that UVXY. ProShares Trust Ultra VIX. The Ultra VIX. Okay. So whenever you see this chart, when it's like crazy like this, what do you know this is? It's always going to be something that costs you a lot to hold it. So whenever you see a chart like this in the monthly and it's going down, 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 it means that it costs a fortune to hold it over time. Okay, so you want to be in and out and trading this little beastie. Now we have to pull this in to get it. There we go. Okay, so this looks like, is it actually a VIX short-term future, like the opposite way? I'm not really too sure what this is doing. It's broken through support here. I guess it's the opposite to the VIX, and it looks like it might be with something else on it. I'm not familiar with this one, man. But yes, it's below. I wouldn't personally touch this. I'd just go and look at VIX and other positions that you can look into. Yeah, but the UVXY, that was when it last spiked. Why is the spike not coming through correctly on this? So there's the spike that came through in Jan. And then there must have been a rollover contract that's cost it money again. And that's why it's at this level. Didn't spike enough yesterday. I don't know about this one. I don't really like it. The Contango says DF. Yeah, the Contango is real on this. It's bad. I don't like this particular one. It's done a contract roll. That was obviously the spike that happened recently. You can see the cost involved in holding it. If you want to get into VIX, there might be some other options in American market. Futures forward decay, absolutely. It's 3x VIX, okay. But even 3x VIX, shouldn't it be going slightly up yesterday? Even 3x, it should have been holding this level. There must be a serious decay in this, like a serious decay. It's not my type of thing. It's a little bit risky. I'd prefer to take just a standard contract without this much. Okay, let's go back through some of the cryptos because cryptos usually run through this time. Ethereum broke through a resistance here today. We got above 1871. We hit that 1900 for the first time. We still may be crawling higher here. I think Ethereum is starting to run out of a little bit of steam. My call on it has always been like 2600.
I'll take your entire stock.
So I do have quite a lot of faith in Ethereum. And I have a lot of faith in it catching up to BTC. What am I looking at? I always just look at the ETH-BTC chart, and I'm basically just staring at this saying, yep, it's time again for Ethereum to start moving up. This is what happened through that August all the way to December period. Then all of a sudden it's ETH's time to shine. Then it's decayed again recently, showing that it's undervalued to Bitcoin. There is also some things coming from it, Cardano, Polkadot, etc. to a degree. They don't have the kind of staying power as Ethereum just yet, but they're certainly very good. And then we have the buying pressure coming through here, an engulfing candle off the daily. Possibly now we see movement forward up to the 0.045, and that might take us to an Ethereum 2100, somewhere around there. So that's what I'm looking at in terms of working it out. Alan Carrington said Australia $5.99. Very generous donation. Thank you very much, Alan. I'm not sure if you wanted something. Oh, you want to do? Yes, you did want something. ASX MOT. Thank you very much for the donation there. ASX MOT. This is MCP Income Opportunities Trust. Okay. Monthly here. Fairly new. Copped a hiding massively, like everything did. So that probably means to take that bigger loss. Pretty consistent with the index. Notice it went down to around $1.25. That may have not been fair value to the actual underlying. It may have just lost so much faith, kind of like LSF. If you're Australians, you'll know what I mean. LSF did pretty poorly. Trend's been good. It seems to be kind of following the market quite a lot though. So notice this was very similar to the S&P 500 return, or the ASX if you want to say that. So the ASX hit this, came through, not sure what it's in. It's hit the $2 because it owns other stocks underneath it. I don't think you need to TA it so much. You just need to look at the stocks underneath it and what basically is going on there in a general trend. It's hard to TA a company so much. Like you want to look at ARK. Can you TA ARK? Maybe, but yeah, I would say basically $2 has been reached. This is where you will see some profit taking from the initial IPO, just because people will be scared. They're like, oh, I can get out of my buy price. Let me out. That's like LSF is a very similar thing in Australia. The IPO came out, the stock goes down this much, scares the crap out of people. They see the recovery. They don't have the faith because they don't want to ride like this again, and then they get out.
I'll take your entire stock.
Vo Kang says, bye, Palantir. Dale Bro says, first time watcher, nice chart work. Also nice to hear mention of fundamentals. Look, Dale, we're going to be doing a lot more of a mixture. You should use mixtures. If you invest, buying dips, understanding technical analysis through dips, things like double bottoms, that type of stuff is really, really good. Also understanding moving averages and following trends. And remember, it's all about having sentiment. Now, fundamentals is easy if you just read the report, say, yeah, I love it. But then, yeah, you want to have also the TA knowledge if you can. QYB, $4.99. Sorry to bug you about CAPA, but could you tell me what you think market open is going to look like? You think she will push upper 20s? Look, it's a complete guess, QYB. I wish I could tell you more, but it's completely an utter guess. I mean, we've got $16 in the pre. I don't know so much the catalyst here that's pushed it. When I said 20, 25, it's because if this gets on, what's happening right now is it's getting into streams. It's like this one right now we're talking about. It's getting into streams. It's getting into stock tweets. It's getting into Reddit, all of those places. People are hyping it. You know, stock tweets is just spam bots going on. Twitter's spam bots. It's everywhere. As more people find out about it, they go, I don't know what this is and I don't care. Take it to the moon, and they buy it into the psychological zones. Usually you take the profits before those psychological zones. So you would have seen this on that other stock you had, Sprocket, something like that. It kind of chunked through and found key resistances like 20s, 30s. I think that one just went nuts and hit like a 36 and stopped. But every dollar was a little bit of selling pressure. 16.28. I don't know what that means for the pre. I'd probably wait for it to come open and then see the first half an hour of action. That's when you'll know the sentiment. The sentiment dies really fast in these types of things. So if it starts rocket shipping, you can expect 20, 25 as being key levels. If the first half an hour is weak, people move on to the next one. That's all I can say, QIB. It's very gamblery, and I stress you need to be incredibly careful, and it's not my type of thing. Lam Chin says TLRY. Absolutely. TLRY had good earnings. We will do the doji now because it has good technical analysis on it to learn how something slowly degrades to the end of the world. Let's have a look at doji. You'll know that I don't like the doji. Not because it's not a cool meme or anything. Don't dislike the video because of it. It's just because it doesn't hold well. So it is a pump and dump special, and I'm not about that. I'm about kind of helping people, educating them to make and save more, protect their money as best as possible by making slightly better decisions. Now, here we have that trend line. You can see how well it's holding up on the way down. The degrading Doji coin. We drew that here. It's been degrading ever since and just constantly slowly moving down, finding support, then breaking down, finding support until we get above this zone or we see an Elon tweet or something. It's going to be very hard for this coin to get through. Let's think about where it stopped. So it's basically been buying the 0.05 area. 0.05 area, supports across there. It broke through once. I tend to think that means even more selling pressure could come through the Doji coin and then move down. 0.04 is going to be the next level, 0.03. And look at the history of the charts whenever you're investing in something. This one doesn't have much. Where is one that has more history? Maybe this one? No. Okay, these all don't have a history from this one. What else have we got here? I have no idea if this has bad. It doesn't. Oh yeah, it does have a 17. So you can see how wild this move is in comparison to the other moves. But again, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. All the way through history, the Doji has done that. Roku pre-market 456. This one is coming into earnings. Notice it bounced off the 20 yesterday when it got down there. It's only barely down in the pre-market. It's got that earnings report coming into it. Donation here from QYB. Thank you very much for the donation today, QYB. $4.99. Appreciate it a lot. Thanks, man. Sounds about right. I pulled out of socket at 22. Should have held for another hour, but good risk management, smiley face. QYB, you were in a thing that you couldn't know where it's going to stop. I mean, what did it go to? I guess I'll have a look here. Socket went to 35. So didn't actually get the 36. Went to 35 and then just got busted down. Now, will this ever come back? Unlikely. What was the market cap of this thing? Another one of those small pump and dumps. 79 million at current price. So the retail community is getting wind of a news plus small cap allows pumps and dumps. The Indonesian market's well known for this. But that is what it is. Alan says to always play with what you can afford to lose. Also set price points out in. Yeah, hey Tom. Yeah, absolutely. You want to, if you have the weird gambler gene in you, maybe you want to have like a little weird account. So a lot of big players, what they have, and even really rich people, what they have is they go, okay, I risk consistently, let's say 10 grand per stock. like in terms of their gamble accounts. They might have $5 million in one other stock somewhere, but then they have these little weird 10 grand hits, or maybe it's 100 grand if they're richer, and they buy strange things and they enjoy it because they like that aspect, but they never let that get involved in their main one. So that might be $5 to you. It might be a cup of coffee. It might be $1. It doesn't really matter. You have that weird account, which if you have that tendency, it might save you from making really bad decisions. Scott, Isom, Nijos, a few others. GTECH is flying. GTECH flying. Spy News, EVs are flying. Everything's flying. FN, though, says, hey, man, how's your day? Very good, thank you. FN, how's yours? Traig says, hello from Australia. Hello to Australia from Germany. Hello back to you. Good to have you here. Let's have a look at this GTECH. Oh, this is GTECH? 218%, another small market cap. I mean, I kind of like it. It's kind of funny, but it's so dangerous. Where does it stop? Who knows? Who the hell made this thing go pre-market? Who knows? $25 here. All of these little EVs are the pick. The amount of people, there is some like overlords in pump groups that are probably making a fortune. Imagine them being able to say, oh yes, I bought it here, and then they create the hype and they get up here. It's just like those coins that get pumped and dumped. There's on Telegram and stuff. Be very, very careful. 24.26 here probably has very little value, but it's up a lot. 220. PLTR, we've done that one. If you go back a little bit, PLTR is kind of coming into support around that 25 psychological. Thanks very much to the 920 people here today to join us for the pre-market. We are now 2 hours away from the stock market open. Let's have a look at the pre-market on the companies, the big ones, the boomer stocks, as some people would say, my probably favorites. Twilio here up 9.53%, probably on earnings. Nasdaq, not too much greens in the big ones today. We go over to the red side. Futu Holdings down again after yesterday's down. Walmart down 4.96. That means the result is out and the stock is not liked for whatever reason. We'll check that out in a minute. Square coming off its hype as well. 270 down 2.3. We must remember Square was $200 only a few weeks ago. It went down as low as that. So Square is a cool company. I like it a lot. At this price, maybe it goes to the 300 before it pulls back, but there will be, I think, a decent pullback there. Same with PayPal, Snowflake, all of these down 1%. Let's have a look at this Walmart. Walmart. So we had the trend line that we set up yesterday. It actually closed above the trend line at the end of the day into the earnings. Similar to a few other earnings calls recently, they've been optimistic. Maybe it's a good one, but it's not good enough, and we're straight into support. Notice that after the earnings comes out, probably this is the call, it instantly goes down to the support level. That's why technicals are so good. It instantly comes here, basically a series of lower highs coming through. This is still a lower high here. Breaks through this zone, Walmart is in shorting territory. And that's why we're thinking, what's going on in the stock market right now? Lots of things at support and critical levels. We'll look at Apple. We'll look at Tesla again soon. Very, very critical. Rock and Pawn says, I'm holding PLTR, GME, and AMC. I have no idea how I ended up in holding meme stocks. I'm not sure if PLTR is a full meme stock. The other two, yes. Well, AMC has some value as well. GME, look, fundamentally, you could never make a case for it at 46. Well, someone probably could, but not me. You'd have to be better than me to make the thing. Michael H says, Carnival, CCL. Haven't heard that one in a while. Dave G says, Cable, Tom is using TradingView. Oh, yes. I thought you meant cable is in pound, US dollar. Diego says, CRM. We'll take a look at that in a minute. You know I'm a fan of CRM. I do like it quite a lot. So Walmart down to the 139 with the earnings report out. Mustn't be good. Let's have a look at CRM. CRM holding up very well, even though there was declines in the market. I've been bullish on this for a little bit here as part of the what I call the participation phase. So participation phase up to this kind of 265, 270 resistance zone. This is a great technical. It's been nice on the break. You can see the closure that comes through this area. It pulls back, finds instant buying pressure. You get a new high, get the dip that you usually get. So you kind of get the second chance offer. In the boomer stocks, you get this, even though this one is, of course, a new technology in some ways. And then we move up here, 247. Now we're in the middle of nowhere land, but towards the 265, 270 is kind of the target that I have set on CRM from a trading perspective. I actually quite like the company itself. It's going to be a slower growth than the explosiveness it had before. QYB, $4.99. IMNM ASAP, he says. First company with a vaccine for all variants of COVID. IMNM. I guess I'll have to bring up some information. It's up 300%. All right, how big is this company? Market capitalization a little bit bigger. I'm not sure if this is rated at the new one. 85, 234 million. Let's have a look. IMNM news. All right. Immunonom discovers antibodies capable of neutralizing multiple COVID variants, including the South African variant, in testing. So this is relatively big news. At the moment, pre-market, $67. Look, I don't know what it's worth. It's not going to be a technical. It's just going to be one of those hyped things. Not sure what exactly, how good this is, how good the information is or anything like that, but that is the one that was alerted to us by QYB. So we will watch it. I'll chuck that over here and we'll watch the pre-market and see how it holds up. So right now it's sitting at 200% up, $67. We'll watch how the pre-market steadies as well through this one. Interesting. Wall Street. Omar Serapio, welcome to the Stock Squad. Thank you very much for joining. Cheers, man. Thank you very much, Omar. I have a water. Duncan says Tesla is gonna fail or fall. Either or. Imran Ashad says thoughts on Facebook banning news articles on its platform. So that's in Australia. So basically, I think this is going to become a story. I'm bullish on Facebook. I'm bearish on governments against Facebook, Google, specifically the search platforms. I believe that the government, especially in the US now, Australia, Western countries, are going to put huge pressure on these companies over the next couple of years. I really feel like it's that Microsoft situation from the 2000s all over again. And you look at it, Facebook price, it's been stumbling quite a lot recently. It's down 0.79. I think governments are just going to say, stuff you, we don't care. Like news, it's not that big a deal. For me, reading Facebook, I don't care if the news is there or not. It hurts the platform. It doesn't hurt my experience. Now, if Google removed their service, that would be a dumb move for them, so they're unable to do it. Yeah, I don't think... I mean, wasn't Google saying, oh, we won't literally even allow anyone to use your platform, use our platform in Australia? That was their threat. That's not going to work out there. Facebook making a series of lower highs consistently recently. Every time it gets here, it's selling. You can see the heavy support pressure. But this is the type of holding pattern that we've got in right now. I'm bullish the technology. I'm bullish a lot of things about it. I'm bearish on governments. I've said that now for 4 months, 5 months. I've been thinking this, and it's become more and more of a thing after the election. What do you guys think? Do you think that Facebook, Google will continue to be 20% stocks per year for the next 2 years? I'm interested to know your thoughts. I really am. Do you think these stocks are going to outperform 20%, 10 to 20% for the next 2 years? Or do you think the government around the world are going to start crushing them up? I'm also scared for some gaming stocks for this reason as well. All those microtransactions like EA, etc. Alan says they should pay for advertising. Yeah, they probably should. But we also need to deal with some of the terrible advertising companies we've got here in Australia that are all owned by the exact same companies, especially the news. Let's have a look more at the crypto markets. Facebook, very good draw up here. It's a clear trend line. It doesn't get better than that, and it doesn't get better than the support buying either. So do watch those zones. Worthwhile having them as alerts. Sally says boycott Zuckerberg and Dorksky. Crush. A few people say no, says Burnt. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, JN. SHIP. A few people want to look at SHIP and AFA. We looked at AFA a little bit before. We'll continue to look at TLRY and AFA. No. RIOT. Crush Twitter. Twitter will probably have the standard kind of pullback it always has. In fact, what's Twitter actually trading at right now pre-market? Only down 0.89. How unusual for Twitter. Twitter usually gets belted during pullbacks. But this time it's bullish. That movement is just so bullish on Twitter. I'm terrified of this stock at this level. Terrified. Sandola says government will not interrupt any majority momentums that Google, Facebook drive. I don't think they're going to ruin the company, Sandola. I think they're going to stop some profit. A few people using DuckDuckGo. I think I said I'd look at BBW before. If you're still around, I will do that now. This particular stock down pre-market 6.45%. Went up to 833. Had a bit of a pump and a dump. There's a lot of... Oh, that's a beautiful level. Damn, that's... If you were showing me this, not this bit, but that's great. Wow, that's so good. That was building into it. I don't know why it went through, but what a great level, guys. Technically perfect. Resistances through the whole thing. The aggressive move was too much. But this trend line, the series of higher lows coming through, even the series of stacking of higher lows here, it broke through before it really got too dangerous. I would have probably preferred it breaks here. As you know, I like it to break 2/3 into the ascending. I'd probably say the ascending starts at that area, not down here. I just got the trend line. That's good structure. That's awesome structure. What it's doing now, could pull back here. I think the party's over on this one, but that was a great buy if you got like a weak purchase here, or even if you bought the down. I wouldn't have liked it because of the huge move, but yeah, that was a great zone. Pedrola says, I love BBW. Well, I like that setup there. I just don't like the fact that it had the boom bust in it and it's now pulled up. Possibly further selling comes in here. Let's go back to this XRP US dollar. This has got the SEC on it, of course, at the moment. We had our little trend line drawn through this. It continues to hold both ways. So it's holding strangely now from the top down and finding buying pressure off it. I'd like to see it clear 56. It seems like this SEC thing's just too much for XRP to handle. Everyone's just going the other coins. Did anyone notice? Have a look at this, guys. Look at the coin change. XRP is not even close to the number 3 anymore. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Coin, out of nowhere, Binance Coin now the 3rd biggest coin. Cardano, Polkadot, then XRP. And I tell you what, Litecoin, if it gets back up to its old price, will be literally starting to mess with XRP's price. Chainlink, Bitcoin Cash could do it. Remember that thing hit like 3,200 or something back in the day. Crazy stuff. I think it actually surpassed a lot of coins when it had that big run on it. Jacob Lee says, Elon Musk says jump, and I say how high. I'm not sure if that's too dangerous. All right. That's not really an interesting article. So this is, of course, what a lot of people love. Kathy Wood. Bitcoin could hit 250,000. Now, I don't think it's an amazing call when you look at the breakdown of what she says, but hit 250,000 if US companies opt to do this. And of course, what are they opting to do? It just comes down to this statement here. If all corporations, kind of like Tesla, were to put 10% of their cash into Bitcoin, it would add $200,000 to price. Now, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but it's an interesting thesis. I think it's always been out there as a thesis. Now that we've seen some companies, Square, Tesla, others invest into it, it's all possible. She's been pretty correct with a lot of her calls. I know a lot of you guys like following what she does. Let's go back to the dollar index. Dollar index finding this 20 moving average. Can it bounce off that? That's going to be critical to what happens with the SPY and the US 100. We'll go to the SPY now. Buying pressure coming here. So we started the stream. We went down to 39.08. Now we're bouncing to 39.18. This is a super tricky market.
I'll take your entire stock.
Look at yesterday's close here. So the actual futures, the futures point here was a rejection, and we had rejection wicks again. We close under this zone. Man, oh man, do I think that we may even hit past the 20 moving average, because there's so much buying momentum that's happened here. And I feel like it's kind of like trapping retail traders and then after that, potentially dumping off. I really do feel that we are close to a decent little bit of correction. I haven't crapped on about it so much as I am now, because the 4,000, the trend line, the timing in the market, all of these things make sense. Here, 39.18, that's definitely me also putting a bit of a spin on it, because I am a little bit bearish on valuations. I think that with TA, you want to take that out as much as possible when you're generally trading. Weak rejections, this will be the point I'm watching today. Now, what point is that? Previous lows, 3,900. Critical area for us to close under for the S&P, and we'll be watching this throughout the day. When you're doing your analysis for this, generally use the real market, the SPX, and wait for it to pull back down here a little bit. Got some donations coming in here from Cold Steel, $5. What do you think of QuantumScape? It seems overvalued with a market cap of 24 billion. All right, thank you very much for the donation there. QuantumScape Corporation. So this is a producer manufacturing electrical products. Valuation currently 24.21 billion. Go to the weekly here. This is the robotics thing, yeah? Is this the flying drone company? I'm not even sure what this is. So it went to 120 very quickly, then busted right down. Okay. Is it overvalued? Probably, by a lot of metrics. Don't know the fundamentals on it. It has bought off the 40. It has found some level of base. Let's have a look at the structure down there. See how it formed base. Daily. Okay. Let's get the volume on. Bring that volume in. Oh, bit of volume came through here. Of course, it did bounce, but a bit of volume. A lot more volume coming through this again. So the hype may be back to it. Yes. Cleaned the 50, which was a key psychological area just anyway. Previous support during the flash crash. Form base underneath, got through, retested, moving average is moving up. Possibly like a 70 could be resistance here. We get through that, 80. I'm just looking at the previous times it got to these levels, looking at the way that the wick rejections happened. One of the key things we look for here in TA, we always want to look at the rejections, the story of the candles, super important to us. Probably a pullback is due. You can see 60 being previous resistance, could be support, and you could also draw a fib of the level so far. So maybe if it pulls back even from the whole high to the low, 38.2, yeah, let's see where it is from this point. I feel like it wants to probably get 70 before it does that, then pull back down to the 60, and then the moving averages will catch up with it, and maybe it goes on a bit of a hype train. But where it was before, that's insane, and this is the ramifications of having an insane move. Everything looks great. Notice the 20 moving average was the end of the music. That's where the music stopped and it got bad. GL Homer says XRP SEC will settle eventually, then the dollar mark should get taken out easily. I do agree with that thought process. As soon as that SEC thing happens, whenever it does, it will boom hardcore and everyone will jump in board. The 20 moving average was the catalyst here. So watch the 20 moving average on the way up again for the pullbacks, and probably a little bit more story. If you got down here, I see totally why you'd buy it. At this price, possibly wait for a pullback. Thanks very much, Cold Steel. Good luck with that one. D-Man, got a donation here. $5. Thank you very much, D-Man. Can you look at KCG? We certainly can. Thank you very much to the 1,000 people that have come out today. Almost 200 likes. Can we get to 200 likes? Smashing it helps us prove this channel, get it out there, and let us keep doing it. Now, KCJ. Cloud Gold Strike Resources. I assume it's going to be this one. Is this actually it? D-Man, can you please at FX Evolution to tell me if this is it? I don't know what this is. I hope it's not this, because it's just so little trade volume. Look at all these. Whenever you see a chart like this, you know, very sporadic, incredibly low liquidity. Sometimes you see this on gold as well. Means that gold liquidity's fallen out. It can also be impending around crashes. And the liquidity, when the market's getting so illiquid, it gets crazy. I've seen that a few times happen last year in March. KCG. Kinross. It is Oh, am I being dyslexic? Okay, there we go. Kinross. No worries. Support found. But what's happening into the support? This is it. Kinross is here. We've got it. Thank you very much. We're all up. Here's the trend line. Oh yeah, that is fully intact. So resistance is all the way down. Notice we're on the daily. I do know this company actually. Coming down to the supports. Downward pressure here. Lower highs. Lower highs. Lower highs. Do I buy this support? You can be a hero and say yes, it's the right area. So firstly, you have analyzed a good chart. You're at the right area. Correct. For me, I don't like this because I think from an investing standpoint, sure, maybe you want to. I don't like the sentiment coming in. Maybe here I like the sentiment. Here I like the sentiment. I don't like it so much anymore. Where do we go? 9 and 10. So I'd be probably waiting for it to move up, break through the previous peak, come back down, test the trend line, or even just take some on the break, some on the trend line. And then I'd be more confident when we get through 8. And then, of course, we move to 9 and we move to 10. Every dollar is going to be pretty critical here. You can see how it's interacting with the dollar ranges. Every 50 cents seems to be pretty critical here. But this is perfect support. I just don't like lower highs coming into it. ZOM down 3% in the pre-market. We are seeing some recovery. US 500, 39.18. Kind of think it's going to be either a 39.20 or a 39.00. US 100, I expect to be around 13,600 on the open. So we're now 1.5 hours, a little bit more away from the open. We'll keep watching those. It usually heats up in the last hour. So we're not too far away from the heating up stage of the pre-market. We'll be looking at that. Let's go to ZOM. ZOM here, buying hammer underneath, strangely. But 20 moving average held it once. It held it twice. This is a buying hammer. What did we say though? This was another one that we've already looked at today. Lower highs all the way through. That's why we couldn't buy that previous support. I'd be looking for it to take out this previous high before I'd be interested in taking it up. And then of course you got the 280 and the 3. So we've looked at ZOM a few times. That's our thought process. Trend line down is the key to knowing the weaknesses there in the market. FN though says lots of earnings coming in today, including First Majestic Silver Mining Corp. Oh, AG. Our old AG. down 1.32. So this one here had that squeeze on it some time ago. Go to the daily, you'll see the squeeze. You'll also see that technicals work incredibly well. It actually opened on the squeeze level. I couldn't believe it when this thing opened. We were live streaming. I was like, oh my goodness. It opened at the resistance of the 11 highs. The squeeze was amazing on this stock. I was like, wow. Resistance. I was like, get out, get out, get out, get the hell out. The stonk is bad. Then it came back down pretty quickly, found the previous kind of resistances, supports, and moved up back to critical levels back from the 2015-16 period. Look, I think silver's got interesting times on it. I trade more like the physical silver at the moment. This company here had a run on it. I feel like it's got a slight valuation change due to the fact that people are holding it from that pump dump. So that's something that makes me think about it. I don't know if I like it so much anymore. It's a good stock though. The business says Lucid cars look way better than Teslas, could destroy Tesla. Lucid cars. Let me have a look at a picture of a Lucid car with you. lucidmotors.com. Alright. Oh yeah. I do like some of these electric cars. The look of them are cool. Oh. The low quality video file in the background, starting from 69.9, 1080 HP, 1080p. Yeah, it looks alright. I can design it. What's the Lucid Air? Cool. Yeah, these cars, we're going to have some cool cars in the future. Things are going to look really cool. The Lucid Air. Looks sick. What do you guys reckon? You like this car? Looks nice. Weird front on it a little bit. You guys like this? I mean, I'm not going to buy the company myself, but yeah. Okay, I can get behind that one. We'll have to see what the actual tech is like. I find it bizarre that Elon says don't buy Teslas during some manufacturing ramp up because they're not going to be good. That's always a bit worrying. Back onto Tesla, pre-market down 1.7 because it has been pulling up a little bit. Just remember, the structure is there on Tesla for the downside. For people that are looking here, look, I'm not a super bear on Tesla or anything. It's proven me wrong plenty of times in the past, and I've got on board the hype train a few times as well. But here is the zone that we're looking at. We're clearly in a structure break. For anyone that's in this, we're talking about it a lot today. We're thinking 700 down to the 650, and this is the first time, and I repeat that, first time for a long time that Tesla has created structure. Last time it was basically half the price. Down here at the 500, moving around, had structure, it moved up. It's actually never really broken underneath structure. Like even during that August period, it didn't break underneath structure. This is the first time since really the pandemic that Tesla's even looked weak. It has not looked weak. Every single technical analysis, you don't even have to look at this. Yes, we make a low, we bounce off resistance becoming support, we make a higher low, we make a higher low, we make a higher low, we keep testing the resistance, we break through that, go on a massive run to the moon, start consolidating, and then all of a sudden break through. Now, why am I bearish on the Nasdaq from that? Well, it makes up such a big portion. If we have a look at the Nasdaq percentages, let's have a look at the weightings here. We'll get the weightings on. Here is our weightings. So you want to see what belts the Nasdaq round nowadays. Look at these weightings. I'm sure many of you are aware of this. 11.51% Apple. Microsoft 9.36%. Amazon 8.34%. Tesla 4.75%. A significant portion. These FANG stocks all the way through here. But specifically, we get a trend line we're going to talk about with Apple in just a few moments. 11.51% weighting. In Australia, it kind of reminds me of our stock market. We have one or two companies, or we did have one or two companies that were weighted at around 10% each in the ASX 200. We were weighted so heavily in the top 20 that when they moved, it would just slam our index. Very, very interesting times. So what's people's opinions on that car? Brian Stonks says that grill looks whack. Agreed. Few people say no, don't like it. The Buick of the future, few people say. Doesn't look like too out there for me, says Aussie Craig. I like the rumble of a real engine, says Lou. Not a huge fan of the front. I do agree that the front is the ugly part of the Lucid. But for now, it's just a little bit of decline. We'll see if we can get more structure. There is a fair price somewhere around here. This is all we're thinking for now on Tesla. So silver, 2717. Dollar index, still finding weakness here, 9645. Let's go to the futures. Go to the futures screener, because things that we're watching today, we're going to be heavily looking at Tesla, Apple on the open. We'll get over to that in just a few moments. Platinum's also up again today. Copper is up huge, which is generally a bullish sign for the market. Don't know why. Copper's particularly, must be China buying a lot of contracts there. US dollar did come off that 91 resistance. It's now 90.62, 90.70. If it holds this zone, it could go bullish into the market, so we'll watch that. Nasdaq continues to be the weakest, and the DAX is not really giving us any clear direction. Slightly up for the DAX, pretty much flat on the Euro stocks, and the Nikkei and the Asian trade was down a little bit more because the futures were down during that period. VIX is spiking. Crypto market, red. Not heavily red though, just a little bit red. Forex market, gold, it looks up, but really these are very small moves. Forex is more of a, pretty much a margin kind of game if you're going to trade that. PLTR, a lot of people asking about 25.84 on the open. We do expect potentially down to 25. Big news here is, of course, ARK's investing more into it. I don't know how much exactly, but yeah, they are investing into it. Big shout out to the 1,100 people joining us today in the stream. If you enjoy the stream, please give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel. We're growing really fast, and that's thanks to you guys supporting me. I really do hope that I can continue doing this and continue doing the pre-market opens for you guys. Corn Killer 420, copper and silver, straight up want to throw up looking at this bot. I'm not sure what that means, Corn Killer, but I assume somebody's talking about them all the time. Where can I look up Elon's Tesla bonus targets for 2021, says GS. Someone might be able to provide that. But yeah, those targets, I remember when they came out, I thought there's no way Elon would hit these targets. Actually, let me see if I can find it. Elon Musk targets. Those targets were crazy. It was so cool. All right, here we go. Let's get the target up here. $55 billion target. All right. So this is back in the day. So he needed to hit revenue-based milestones and he'd get this much adjusted. So I'm not sure where he's actually at with the revenue busts, but look how much payday Elon's in for. I love that so much. When he bet on it big, that was cool. I remember I saw it. I thought there's no way he's going to hit some of these targets, and he certainly did. So it's very cool. That's true, GS. Maybe use the Google search. That could help you. But it's a cool question. All right. AAPL. One that you always want to watch. This is the trend line that we had drawn. We saw it closing. We thought 130 was going to be that first level that it hit. It instantly kind of gapped in and opened there. This morning, we've got a 129. So 129.37, about here. That's significant? Not really. But when it gets under this zone, it could gravitate towards the 125. and then possibly even gravitate towards the 120. Now we get this weakness. Warren Buffett sold a portion, Vanguard sold a portion, a few other people sold portions of this particular stock. That is bearish on sentiment. You know, it hurts it. And when you think about the Nasdaq, 11% or whatever it was made up of it, pretty big deal. A lot of people talking about this trend line here.
Wall Street.
Pretty much the same as the one I did. I saw articles on today, I put it in the stream. Yeah, pretty wild area to break through. What does this mean for the rest of it? I don't know yet. I'll be watching every $5 on the horizontal here for Apple, and I'm certainly not bullish on Apple at this current price. Brian Stonks, thank you very much. Seeing you in here. Welcome to the Diamond Hands Club. Remember to message me after this. You'll get a link, which should come up. And definitely message me in there. It's at Tom, and I'll add you to the community. No worries, man. Thank you very much for the support. Here, yeah, every five. 125, I could see very easily being reached. Previous resistances should act as support. 200 simple moving average on the 4 hour. Now, wow. What do we got here? 200, 200. 1, 2, question mark. Interesting level. Okay. We can get behind that. Binance coin, it's wild. Big Bear says FTOC merging with Payoneer later today, later this year to the moon. ETH to 2K, says Sean. Yes, Sean, but maybe even higher. Let's go 2.6, hey? Look at the ETH BTC. We did that just a little while ago. A lot of news coming out here. Let me have a look at the trenders. Let me see what's going on with the trenders. When you're looking at basically big news for big companies, I like to use FinViz. Refresh this news thing. It kind of goes through Reuters, Bloomberg. I'm looking for a good service. Does anyone know an incredibly good service for getting earnings reports free for the community in the US? Any good services out there? Now, I know it's in some of the platforms, but is there any particularly free one that people like? Some shout outs to ones that I like. Koifin, worthwhile checking out for the sector analysis I do daily. It's free. It's an awesome service. I don't even know who made the software, but it's great. We also like, what's that whale thing? Dave, do you remember the whale link? If you can share it. That one's pretty cool. Big fan of that one. And also things like unbiased stock is a good to be quickly finding. Possibly some kind of booming stocks. I'm starting to think StockTwits is better than that though. Earnings reports again today. Walmart was out. Disappointed the market there early in the pre. Roku, Dropbox at the end. We'll look at Dropbox very, very soon. So let's have a look at that Walmart. Walmart Q4 profits miss. Guide for slight earnings decline. Now I know that Walmart's plan is actually to try to go for some competition with Amazon. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, but they are trying. Official says, I like MarketWatch. Yeah, MarketWatch is a great website. So this is the Walmart report here. Shares fell 4.9%. We saw that before. Net loss totaled 2.09 billion or 74 cents per share. So probably not that great for them. Makes sense. They're a market that's certainly been hit quite hard. Okay, let's get back into some TA. We'll go to the community for some. Send in some of the requests that you have right now. I'll just pick some, send some in, put them all on the screen. I'll look at a few and I'll pick them out. Don't be disappointed if I miss yours. I'll just do a couple of them. So what's going on with RIOT and Bitcoin? SD said, I'm not sure on that one, so I couldn't comment on it. I'm trying to keep across most of the market, but I don't know every single thing. If I don't have any idea, I probably won't say it. Oh, one of my crappy stocks is up. Nice. I just saw it appear. That's Avio. Rankings. Let's have a look at the rankings for the day. I do like this. I think it's awesome. You just be able to see all the quick trending, most active by comments. It's always interesting. SOS, CCIV, Sendal, AMC, of course. Well, we've got them coming in. When I see lots of the same thing, I'll probably do it as long as it's from different people. RIOT, WMT, GTECH. It's probably why we're going to get a few of those today. All right, let's see. What have we got here? Looks like the community wants us to look at CTRM, CCIV. CCIV comes up quite regularly. Let's look at Churchill Capital here. It's always a popular one. It's up 0.82. Yesterday closed at a 670. So Churchill Capital was up. Let's have a look at the daily here. It's been on a bull run to the moon. Very strong days. Very strong days. Wow, makes the other ones makes it all look kind of crazy. It's getting a little bit ahead of itself potentially as people pile into it. Reason I say that is because earlier in Feb, we were kind of following this 20 a little bit, at least having pullbacks after a bull run. Then now we've had those extrapolated out candles. Yesterday was a weaker looking candle. So it might be crapping out just before the 60. Notice it stops just before the psychological. Classic retail thing to do. If you're a retailer like us, we all are, and you're like someone that goes, I like to get $20 for my stock, or I like to get $30. Stop it. Don't do that no more. We all make that mistake and we don't want to keep doing it. So 59.32, what does it go here? The high is 59.50. So have a plan to get out in that last dollar before the range is hit. Where could this pull back to? Probably around a 50. Go down to the 1 hour. At least let the 1 hour 20 catch up with it. That will push us down to a 50. I think it is due for a little bit of a pullback. And if we get negative sentiment today, maybe CCIV comes back in. Workhorse, another request. CTRM. Let's have a look at CTRM. This has been, this is very similar to those other ones. Go to the 15-minute here. So CTRM looks very negative on current sentiment, but it can shift if this trend line gets broken above. Very similar to like a Doji coin, to XRP, to those SOS, I think it was, or ZOM. I think it was ZOM. Coming down here. No. We're not breaking through yet. Pre-market's down 114. I'd like to see this little bit of structure get cleared.
I'll take
And when
your
that
entire
gets cleared,
stock.
ideally we get the move to $1.40, previous resistance, previous supports, previous resistance, get through there, $1.60. Each 20-cent chunk is a very good zone to be TPing or to be at least watching. Want it to get through this structure and break through the trend line down. That'll show us sentiments changing. It's not just a gradual decline. This type of thing is usually to do with something that's moved up and people are being left holding the bag slowly and gradually. There's still interest in it, but not the initial interest that took it to the pump. Doji coin is a classic example of that. People are holding it and they're confident it'll go back because Elon may tweet or something. The slow degradation there. $4.99 coming in from Triple C Basement. I like that. $DNN looking bullish. If so, what are support or resistance levels? Short term, in your opinion, baby snuggle. I don't know what that one means. DNN. Baby snuggle. Got a bloody moth in here. Maybe I'm in the basement. There's a moth flying around me. An Australian evil moth. If you want to look at a scary moth, guys, look up the Bogon moth. Yes, that is a thing. I call them the Bogon moth. All right, let's have a look at what's going on here. Yes, we do have 50 exponential moving average. This is a 15-minute chart. We know it's crazy. Look at that. Yeah. DNN. We've looked at this one before. Dollar was broken. We thought it would go to $1.75. I remember that. Maybe I looked at it yesterday. I forget sometimes. $2 was the next target. Previous resistances. $1.75. I think we called it. I think we called the resistance. It went a little bit higher, but I think we called this one. I think it was around $1.60-ish, maybe, and then it bounced through. Maybe it's $1.50. So let's go to the daily. Go back to the 15-minute because we saw that was where the moving average was holding. This blue line's the 50 exponential moving average. Yes, it's looking better. Pre-market's crappy. $1.45. $1.40's been buying. Let's zoom in together here. All right. Resistance, $1.53. Okay. So we might go down to the $1.40. I don't know if I like buying the $1.40 in these pumps. I probably prefer to get involved in the bullish momentum rather than buying the dip too much. Breakthrough here, back up to the $1.75-ish zone, $1.76. And then, of course, hopefully we can get through that area and break to the $2. What the hell is going on the S&P? It's trading really small range, and it looks like it's doing a little bit of traps. I saw someone today message me, and they said, Tom, I'm averaging down. I said, what are you averaging? And they said, oh, I'm averaging my stock. I've been buying it every 50 cents. It's like a $200 stock. I'm thinking, how is that averaging down? And why are you averaging down 50-cent increments? He's like, oh, I was waiting patiently. I'm like, what? That's not waiting patiently, man. So $1.53, yes, around this $1.75, $1.80 is where it stopped last time, and then the 2. I'd be looking at the structure breakout here. Otherwise, you're looking at a head and shoulders, and you're going left shoulder, head, right shoulder. These are equal. Neckline. Bad things happen if it gets through. $1.40, you must hold. No underneath close under $1.40 on the DNN. Navid says, please look at LKCO. Now, I think, Navid, you've been asking that a lot. So let's have a look. We have looked at SOS, have we? LCKO. Okay, Navid. You've been patient. Oh, LK. Lukung Technology Corp. All right. Okay. Pre-market 250, breaking up 13%. Well, it's certainly breaking through a series of higher lows with equal resistances. 250 puts it straight into the 50. It's had a nice move on it before, 381. These are tough stocks that you guys give me to analyze. Very tough stocks. How can you analyze this when it's a pump and dump? I can't get to every single person's request, man. So, Navidad, if I miss you, try tagging me. I might read it a bit better there. B-Dig says, okay, I'm back, guys. The chicken is okay. I say again, the chicken is okay. All right, that's good, B-Digs. Not sure what you mean by that one, but maybe there is a chicken. Here we've got the 380, the 250 break. We have that long leg doji, 244. All right, let's go to the 4 hour. Long leg doji. Long leg doji is an indecision candle. So when you break either way of an indecision candle, you tend to be showing momentum. It's a good sign if it breaks through there on the open. 2 hour, 251 again would be pushing it. I'd probably wait for a little bit of the open to happen here if I was really interested in this. Try to get an hour close above this zone because it never has happened. And then you have to have a stop at least under here and move towards that previous high, the 380. I'd probably be more looking at the 350 because that's where it started crapping out. And it did have a big bust off, which is symbolic of what we call the blow off in technical analysis. Thanks so much to also the 1,160 people joining us for this Thursday pre-market open. We've been streaming every day for the last couple of weeks. Make videos about the market. If you enjoy TA, enjoy a bit of fundamentals thrown in and general news, remember to subscribe and follow us. Charlie says, Neo, please. We did Neo a little while ago, Charlie. If you scroll through, you'll get it. A couple up here. Shyam says, FX Evolution, SOS, please. Okay, let's have a look at SOS. Quite a lot of requests before for that one. Pre-market 1104. Ran heavily. Another super tough stock to figure out. What is this? Oh, that's my drawing on the screen. Surely. The hell is that? I don't know why that's there. Data stopped at the 1577. Some support, resistance. There's not much knowledge here. $11 seems to be getting back down to the correct area.
I'll take your entire stock.
Support around the 10. The blow off will be 5, so the pullback will be $5 in length. Pre-market down 12. Probably take a fib. Fib may pay off here. 38.2. Yeah. Okay, so I don't buy this type of thing in a dip. I buy it when you get some structure, ideally, or a lightning bolt, or a double bottom, or a inverse head and shoulders. Any of these types of patterns around this area interest me. 38.2, I could see it falling further than the 11 back to the 10 on SOS. Donation coming in here, $2. Ira Schwartz, thank you very much. Could you please take a look at CRC? Thank you very much. No worries. Can do. It'll be this one. I always assume when you donate and you don't let me know where it's from, that's going to be the American market. This is California Resources Corp. A few rejection wicks as it tests this resistance of just below the 28. You can see it's doing that. It's pretty clear what I would be doing. I'd be drawing this trend line. I'd be focused all over that 28, which kind of has me excited because of the rejections. And you've got two choices here. One, the market comes back down here. You look for buying opportunities and hopefully a break at the top. This is an ascending appearing here. You also have these rejection wicks. So that means that if you get a closure market above here, you're taking out the weak paper hands that were here, the shorts that were here, anything to do with the momentum that was kind of failing here is now gone. The close is there, 30 very easily, and possibly even this type of take. Let's have a look. This take here. Nice, nice, nice. Ooh, $35 on the proof of the 2/3 for the ascending. That's good. Nice psychological. Cool. It's not bad, Ira. Not bad. At least it's showing a series of higher lows. The previous resistances and supports were all through this level. Taken a little while, so it's had consideration. It's not like, yes, it was a pump, but it's holding for some reason. It's good. Good luck on that one. Okay. Alan says, does Tom work night shifts for the US markets? Yeah, I do. 12.19. I am waiting for the 4th of April. Daylight savings will bring the US market back to 11:30. It'll be so good. I can't wait. For any Australian out there that trades the best market in the world, the American market, you will be thanking when we get back out of daylight savings. Jace White, $2. Major correction, I believe, coming to Twitter. I agree with you, Jace. We'll have a look at the stock in a moment. Let's go around the markets now, have an update. Let's go to the pre-market screener windows. Up. Oh, ARE now up 12% in the pre-market. Twillo up 9.8. S&P Global is a little bit more greens here than there were before. On the downside, Futu, Walmart with earnings missing guidance right into support there for Walmart. Tesla 2% down, showing a 781. It was worse before. Square also declining here. So Square is weakening through the little bit. Go to our watch list of crazy, weird stocks. TLRY up, Avio up, Sendal somehow up. How the hell is Sendal up? I don't know. I guess people just really hope it's up. And there'll be another one that we should have here, which is probably should add this. I'll add a few more into the speculation window, but AFA, notice how a little bit better than TLRY. So these are the counter trades to each other. If you're going to pick one, it seems that the meta if you could call it that. The meta of the game of the weed stocks has been APHA. Obviously, do your own diligence before looking at that, but it's been a little bit better than TLRY on the pickup. So the earnings report was pretty good for TLRY, probably surprised a lot, and that's where we're trading at. Let's have a look at Twitter. I think there is a major correction coming here. You can see it's been boosting away from any moving average. Twitter has a long history of moving up and then absolutely getting destroyed during like an earnings, or just randomly the market will pull back and it gets really beaten down. So very volatile stock. There's an earnings report, 52 down to 38. This isn't even earnings. December just got belted down to 44. In the past, it's been belted plenty of times. Take a look at the weekly here on Twitter. Big up, bang. Big up, bang. It's kind of like almost a pump and dump. Big up at the beginning, bang. Oh, that's interesting. It's hitting its IPO price. These poor people that were holding it here. I remember the IPO. People were buying the wrong code. The Twitter code in the US, I think it was like TWWTR or something like that, or TWTTR or some code, and people were buying it. Went up like 700% in a day. Here it is, 70, almost $2. I believe that we're at the end of this. If I was in Twitter, even if I was invested in Twitter, I'll ask the community this. Would you be out of Twitter at this zone, or would you be long holding it saying, yes, I believe in the system? Remember, IPO price being reached after a nice move. Do we believe there's a correction? Where's the correction coming to? 20 moving averages on the weekly has been historically the pickups here. That's a big way down. What are your community thoughts on Twitter right now? Jim says Tom, CRM, and PayPal. We had a look at those, Jim. We will continue to look at them throughout the session. Let's now look at the US 500, back down to 39.14, all over the place. We're hoping for around a 3,900, or at least I'm hoping for a 3,900 open here. We are 1 hour away from the open. Not long now, guys, before we see what is the next move for the market today. Here are the buying pressure supports for yesterday. Double wick rejections. When we look at QQQ, Nasdaq, we'll see the same type of thing. These 3,900 double hammers. We get through underneath here. Well, that's not a hammer, but double rejections. We close under this level. The floodgates are open down to 38.50, 38.60 area, previous peaks. 40 points could happen quite quickly. US 100 putting pressure on the 11,600. Look at the 1 hour here. Rejection, rejection, rejection. This was a bizarre one. I thought it was going to go through at this point. When I looked at it this morning, that looks like it should have gone through. It didn't. 13.59. Where's the next zone? Probably a little bit further down. Let's see what everybody thought. I'd be selling, says Stream Echo. Brett says, get the Frank out of Twitter. I get what you're saying there, Brett. Thank you. Vern says run. Davey says out. Magic says depends where you got in. I guess that's true, but I do feel like that's a tough one even to hold. FC Shopping says sell and buy back in later. Could be a valid strategy. Volcano says I'd short on 3x margin. Wow. Volcano. Very nice there. Christopher Cardenas says his PLTR keeps falling. Is it a buy? Probably do your own research on ARK, investing in it. And if you believe in her calls, did she do a YouTube on it? She might have done a YouTube video. I think she does like a weekly one. Might be worthwhile a watch there. Few people saying they'd be selling. Got a donation coming in here. AVDS. Thank you very much, AVDS. $5. Hi, Tom. What's the chance that Sundial will reach a new all-time high in the future? Do you see it happening? I'm sorry to tell you, AVDS, I'm going to be a hater on Sundial. Okay? Now, I'm a hater on it because, number one, they issued more shares. Wasn't it $1 billion worth of new shares? The other problem with it is I had a look at its earnings. It's kind of terrifying. It was a little bit of a meme kind of stock while it was running up there. I'd love to see it do it for you. and maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I've traded weed stocks a few times through the bull cycle that happened a few years ago. I saw the hyperactivity, so I know it can do it. I also saw the horrible decline because these companies burn cash. And from what I understand, Sundial is doing a raise. Why is it raising? Because it gets good money and it's burning cash. It's burning a lot of cash. What do you guys think for AVDS and Sundial? I am not bullish this stock at all. I'm more bullish the other weed stocks that are creating some profit and have better fundamentals. This was a great pump and dump. I don't know. Anyone bullish Sundial? Or are people less bullish it now that the $1 billion thing and everything else goes through? Fish and Funk says, I agree with Tom on Sundial, heavily diluted. Unfortunately, yes, plus they really don't make money. Alan says, Sundial pump and dump. I do appreciate the donation, man, but look, even the TA here looks really bad. You know, we did the TA at that $1.30. I remember this well. It wasn't that long ago, last week or 2 weeks ago. It got through every single level. It got through the 170 resistance. You can see there was selling there. Then it went hyperactive, got incredibly extended. We thought it might get up here through the levels. You can see we had this one, we had this one, and then the last one was like literally a hyperactivity mode, which is what happened. Maybe we come down to the 20 moving average here or something, find some level, possibly we even buy today, but I think it'll be a slow, gradual decline. We'll continue watching it. Brian Stonk says that low stock price is a psychological thing. It certainly is. Brian, he also says, I'll try to swing through various levels merely because of the price. Few people saying still bullish. Other Brian Jensen says that. Sally says, Seat Kicker says, you always make sense. One thing I try to do with my analysis through the years is I used to blindly follow the news. Call me dumb. That's fair enough. You can call me stupid. I used to follow news. I used to believe in the articles that Bloomberg would write. Like, what's Bloomberg writing right now? What are they telling us? Anything here? Nothing particularly too much about the actual market. But when you read these articles, they influence your sentiment. Even this stream, you're watching it, it could influence your sentiment. Always make your own decisions and empower yourself with your own ability to read the charts and everything like that. Otherwise, you'll never be able to get yourself confidence, and you'll be sitting here on Stock Twits and you'll be going into RIOT and you'll be like, message volume up 43%. Yeah, to the moon. And then you start reading these things. Kevin O'Leary was right about MindBet, etc., etc. And you read all this stuff and you hype yourself up and you lose sight of what your plan was. And your plan might be, I'm getting out at whatever price it is. I'm getting out at $80. I'm getting out at $100. You keep your own plans if you can. I've learned over the years there's plenty of opportunities, and you know, while RIOT 77.90 and I would have already taken profit. We'll look at RIOT, by the way. I wouldn't still be in this. Well, I would, but only a very small portion. So for me, I would have taken it around $50. I'm not going to say I wouldn't. That's what I would have done. It's gone much more hyperactive than that, which is awesome. I would have taken a big portion off and I would have left on some just to ride. And I'd probably be riding it by like something like this 1 hour, 20, or maybe even like a 15-minute. Just like look for some trend line to throw through. And where would my next target be? Probably the 100, just underneath, maybe like a 98, 97. That's just the way I feel about it, yeah? Brian Stonk says, I seriously think they collude to screw over retail investors. They 100% do. They do. When JP Morgan upgrades a company and all the stock investors invest all their clients in it, they're already invested in it. The idea that all of these, like, how is it illegal that JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and all these guys go and they have their economists say, we upgrade the stock, and the stock goes up 3-4% that day? Crazy. Bank says, RIOT review. Look, the review here is the trend is intact. From a TA perspective, there is no reason to sell other than if you have plans, because it's intact. If I was looking at this trend, while it's crazy and it's on a rocket ship, it's been doing a very similar thing. It's jumping through these 20s. It's not going underneath the 50s too much, but we did see it go there. So that's why I said that 1 hour 20 maybe is the following trail. But the trend's good. It's intact. From a TA perspective, what can you do? You follow the trend. Today it's going to open 73.86. Where does that put it? Above the 20 still. Maybe it pops down to 72. Finds the previous resistance as support. Look at this. It did this every time. Look at this. Here it is. Previous resistance becomes support right around the 20. Then we're up here. Previous resistances possibly become support around the 72. I think it's getting incredibly dangerous, but if you have the conviction, you can take it. I thought it was dangerous at $50. It's just not for me. But that's okay. Thomas Donegan, Canadian, $1.49, gives me the hamburger sticker. Thanks very much. Thomas, you got to request a stock or something someday. You keep donating to me with hamburger stickers and hot dogs and stuff, but you never ask anything. We've got to get one out of you. Bank and Finesse says FX Evolution morning bank. Mountain Fortress says it's gradual, so looks good. Well, at least it's not, like completely momentum crazy. But this is a 15-minute. You know, you go out to a 1 hour, okay. You go out to a 4 hour, But it did have a nice run. It had the pullback. It found a new level, and then this is big, but you know the trend is there. Harold Jones at FX Evolution, can we take a look at SFT, please? I think you've been pretty good there, Harold. So we'll look at SFT. Shift Technologies. Okay. Instantly, I look at this and I say, beautiful base at $8. Beautiful supports. Pretty nice resistance right around that psychological 10 as well. Just below, sells off. Just below, sells off. Sells off, buying hammers. Beautiful. Now we're at the critical point. Support, resistance, all the way through this zone. Cool. Okay. Down 5.2 in the pre-market, 10.03. Puts it down, back down here.
I'll take your entire stock.
Go the 4 hour. Hopefully it doesn't freeze. There we go. All right, what do we know? Cannot hold above this level with a significant time frame. So we're waiting for a 4 hour or better close, maybe a 2 hour, I'm not sure. We'll look at the time frame above this zone to see the bullish momentum that's going to push us through to the next level. And we'll talk about the next level in a few moments. The 20 moving average is also coming up.
Your entire stock.
And at the same time, we might go down here today and bounce back up. So basically, we're in the range. We've seen this buy a lot. We've got a 20 coming up. Previous resistances acting as support and a lot of wicks. I'd like to see wicks.
I'll take your
and you guys have got like a donation run going on right now. Thanks so much, guys. We've got this wicks here. I would like to see another wick actually purchasing. Close above, showing 2 days or 2 4 hour blocks worth of nice bullish momentum. And once we close above this zone, I don't care about the wicks. I just care about the close. We should go up. It has to do that though. Where's the next target? Probably 12. Where's the next target after that? Clearly 14. I say 12 because there is quite a lot of random closes, supports, resistances, supports, all sorts of things through this 12 to 14 zone. Good luck on this one. All right, we've got a whole bunch of donations coming in here. Alan Carrington says $4.49 Australian. Thank you very much. I think he's meaning JP Morgan straight after that, so we'll check out JP Morgan. I haven't looked at this chart in some time. I've been buying the Australian banks, but JP Morgan I have not owned. So this is up a very nice percentage over the last couple of whiles. Look at this. Consolidated for so long, got that beautiful bit of news for it, and it was off to the races. So now we've gone above the previous resistance. Pre-market, we're looking at 0.062 down 144. They're probably making huge amounts of money on their trading arms right now, you would have to think. Daily 20, it went through there in Jan. I don't think I like the level, Alan. I don't think I like it. We're probably getting close to the end of the value sector coming up. So financials and energy were super underquoted and underpriced. Let's bring COIFIN into this. If you don't use COIFIN, you'll see why it's good. Bring that in right now. Let's do the analysis together. Let's switch it up and move over. We'll get to all the donations very, very soon as well as we're coming into the market.
I'll take your entire
Let's switch
stock.
this little beastie over and bring it up. Here's COIFIN. And this particular thing will show us the last 3 months, the last year, etc. Once we refresh it, probably. There we go. Let's get the data through here of the sectors. So notice the energy pickup and the financials pickup. We're almost flat. Now, this is 1 year worth of data. So everything that's been taken away, because these businesses do have problems, yeah? They do have problems. So everything that's been taken away from the pandemic has almost been put back on as a cumulative sector. XLF is actually higher than it was. So the financials has recovered because of probably the trading arms making so much. I believe we're kind of getting to the end of that partial recovery. Now, this last spurt's been aggressive, but that 1 year data is what I'm looking at here. February, energy's almost back. Financials are back. That high, JP Morgan, I can't go with it. Utilities, a later bull run cycle entry. So utilities are underpriced right now. When's the later bull run? I don't know, but they are underpriced right now. I don't like this. I'm sorry, Alan. I'm not sure if you agree with that one. Tink Fun International, $1.99 with the thumbs up. Thank you very much, Tink. Appreciate that. Sam Herman's, $5. Odds on US 500 correction this week. Well, the odds are looking better right now, Sam, because we're putting pressure on a 39.04 coming into the pre-market here. 39.04 pre-market. So things are looking better for a correction. Now, when you say correction, what do you mean? Do we mean pullback? Or do we mean correction? Or do we mean crash? This is a pullback back to the 20. That's traditionally what we've seen. I thought this would be the correction phase when this happened. I did. I really did. I thought it was timed pretty well. Everything made sense. And then all of a sudden the stimulus checks went out. People went crazy.
I'll take
all these
your
types of
entire
things happened.
stock.
Next stop though is clearly here. Every single nasty bank, nasty hedge fund, evil creature will be at these levels and they will be looking at it, salivating on the 3600. There's a few reasons why I believe this level's good. Firstly, previous resistances across the board. The other thing is you look at, what's happened on the Nasdaq as well, and we pull the Nasdaq out, it's going to time very, very well with the 12,400 resistances that were peaked through November and through August. So both of these will peak through. They're actually fibs as well of certain levels. So a correction would push down to these zones. But we have 3 problems. First problem, the 20. I feel like we could crack this 20. Everything's feeling like the 20 could be broken. Then we've got the 50. On the S&P, it's the same. Then, and that's the 13,000. So it's a key psychological. And then the next level is here. This is the deeper correction of the overall run. Now, let's have a look at the fib of the whole move here. I haven't even done this one. See if there's a fib here of the whole move. It's right around that 23.6 fib of the whole pull up. Interesting. Okay. Get this move here. Basically down between the 38.2 and the 50. And you'll know if you've been watching my stream for a long time, I crap on about this all the time. My fib levels are not this one. I hate this one. 61.8, nasty golden fib crap. The problem with that is by the time the golden fib hits, the psychology's out of the market. So 38.2 and 50 fib, this is my zone. This is the area I look for buying pressure. So for now, I feel like the 20 could get broken because we're coming in today negatively a little bit. We get underneath and close underneath this. I feel like the 20 gets taken out and we move towards the 50. We get under that, Yes, this is the zone, and I think that's where it ends. Thanks for the question there, Sam. But, you know, in terms of correction this week, it's all on getting a close below these daily wick candles. These were showing bullish momentum twice. We have to keep it up. Otherwise, you get underneath. 50 could be seen. Kurt Greenway, $4.99 says, great show. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for the donation there, Kurt. Very generous of you. Appreciate that. Sal DiCristo says $1.99. Hands up, cheering kind of sticker, I guess. Thank you very much, Sal. Appreciate that. $1.99. Jar White, $5. Cloudflare and Quick thoughts. Ooh, Cloudflare. Now you're talking my language there, Jar White. I like Cloudflare. Cloudflare. Thanks for the $5. Let's have a look at what's going on. So pre-market down 1.66. I do tend to think Cloudflare is slightly overpriced. Why? Because when we think about where the previous support was in January, the earnings report was good, but they sandbagged their own company. Read the earnings report, Jar White. Take a look at one specific thing, which is where they talk about their quarter-on-quarter growth, and they put it down to around 4%. They've generally been growing at 10. So if they've been growing at 10 and they say 4, go then and look at the key, the little breadcrumbs. They've done this before. They've underquoted, and they have a tendency to underquote, and the market I don't think it's really correlating that in. So I am bullish this company. I would like to see it back in these zones here. If we get a correction in this market, this will be a very interesting zone to me. It's the last time it came down to these areas, the 200 simple moving average on the 4-hour. Look at where it's going to be. Previous January lows, $70-ish around that zone. That's the one I'm going to have on my chart that I'm waiting for Cloudflare. I did think when it broke through that it was going towards the 100. I was pretty bullish on it. That's fine. I like the company anyway. But now with the market where it's at and everything else, I feel like it should come back down to this zone. Good luck, Jar White, on this one. Cloudflare is a pretty cool company and definitely an interesting zone. Got some good management behind it. Quick, 53% up today, 1092. What is this? This is a semiconductor company with a market capitalization, very small, 80 million. It's clearly a pump and dump, most likely. Maybe there's news there. It's clearing a whole bunch of levels. It's opening around the 10, which doesn't make me happy because it's opening around a psychological level in general. Targets here, possibly 12 and stuff. I don't like things that open on the resistance or on the psychological. So I think that's a tough point there, Jar White. I won't say any more about this one other than that. Thanks so much to the 1,200 people that are joining us for the market open. 45 minutes to go now, guys, till we get the market open. S&P 500, 3907. US 100 now, 13,575. So that is coming down fairly heavily into the open here. I mean, it's not as big as things we've seen in the past, but for the last couple of days of trade, it's big on the index. Putting pressure on these previous lows, this 13,540. We get underneath there, could see some nice selling pressure come back through, possibly down to 13.2, 13.4, 13,000, all those levels. Dollar index actually weakening, 95.8. So that's actually falling off as the market's coming down. Gold and silver hovering. Gold 1781, silver 2717. All right, we've got some other donations to go through. D-Man, $5. Thank you very much, D-Man. Can you take a look at SSL Sasol Limited? SSL Sasol 1376, pre-market 1.99. All right, let's have a look here at the SSL. Okay, so it's been a lot higher. It's clearly found that when it got through this $9 to $10 range, it was ready for the breakout. 1650-ish area was previous supports, so could act as resistance. Notice it's bouncing off the 20 as well. Possibly get a bit of a movement down to the 1250 here, D-Man. This level, this level, this level here again. Maybe then we move up to that 1673. Maybe we continue to follow the moving average as well on the way up. It looks okay. It's not strong from a technical standpoint. It's just a bunch of decent gap ups. But because whatever this was, probably a news announcement, earnings, because it's held that relatively well, I feel like with all these candles and the market sentiment, it could pull back down to the moving average. Watch that, and also watch the 1150 previous resistances for buying pressure. Good luck on that one, D-Man. Oh, Sal, I think this is the last donation we've got here. Sal says, De Cristo says $1.99. Are you bullish on APHA, especially with the merge? I'm more bullish on that than TLRY is the answer there. I'm not specifically as bullish as I was on the pot stocks. At certain prices I have been, but I do think this one's doing quite well. And I think that if we close or get any closure above that long leg doji there, we should be able to move up to the 25 for this one. Purely psychological play. Plus it's got upgraded to 25 by that random upgrader. That might have to do with sentiment. TLRY, I'm more bullish though APHA than TLRY. Heaps of questions coming in here. Could you do SOS? Tongue says we've done it a few times. If you scroll through, you'll find it. We've done it heaps of times though, guys. GS says get the bell ready, dude. Can I get the bell ready? 1 second. It's going to play. Oh, that was loud. Let me turn that beastie down. All right, Wall Street bell is ready to rock when we are going live. There we go. GME coming. Let's have a look at the markets now. Pre-markets, what's going on? Okay, so of the specs, PLTR down 7.35%. Molecular data had a couple of good days run, now down 5.39. Ups, Avio, that's just something I look at. APHA, Afria, 5.97. TLRY, 4.44. GameStop, aha, 4% up pre-market. Interesting. AMC, not up. All right, we'll be watching GameStop. Sundial, it's moving with TLRY and stuff. Be careful of the sundial. I don't believe. I'm not a believer. Bigger stocks, these are the 23 billion plus in the pre-market here on Webull. Same to ARE, Twillo. Not as much green as we had before. Those ones on the earnings. Walmart earnings disappointed. Straight into support for the open. Futu also down. Square starting to see some weakness. Let's have a quick look at Square. I want to do it myself. Let's have a look here. Whoa, look at my lines. That's crazy. So I've decided every $20 is interesting for Square. We're going to open here at a 263. Notice we're putting pressure on yesterday's bullish rejection. We close underneath that. I think structure is an very interesting zone here for Square. The 240 is kind of a zone I will be looking at relatively closely. I don't like it here from a valuation standpoint. Maybe I prefer it here from a trade standpoint. Every 20 is worthwhile putting on the Square. Alan says GME much better than AMC. No good, Tom. Oh, don't worry, Alan. It's just that it's up at the moment. What is Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin's moved back up there quickly. So at the start of the stream, we were talking about one thing, and that was the 4-hour 20 exponential moving average being a very good zone. We're also talking about the knowledge of knowing that every time it's gone to the 20, it's had buy rejection wicks that have closed very similar to the 20. So I was thinking pull back down to here, rejection wick, body close, movement up. You've got the 50 supporting you, plus all the previous resistances and the zone. Interesting area and point to look at. US 500 coming in at a 39.05. Let me just quickly switch over to the other screen now. That's better. Sorry about that. Forgot about it. Michael S, $5. Thank you very much for the donation there, Michael. Thoughts on CLNE? Clean Energy Fuels Corporation. Got a cool name. Adam Clay, FX Evolution, thoughts on RIOT. Go back about 20 minutes. We've looked at RIOT quite a few times today. I think it's following a 15-minute moving average, and it's going towards things like maybe a psychological, even just underneath 100. Watch those zones. Watch the trend. I did a pretty big retrospective on it. So CLNE, 4.12% pre-market here, $15 on the tick. Let's have a look at the larger time frames. Clear big pump out here. 1 week. Ooh. Gap close
I'll take your
potential.
entire stock.
CLNE, gap close potential. Long leg doji, or at least a rejection candle. We closed underneath that yesterday. Oh, sorry, on last week. That's not good. Daily here, continuing the movement down. I feel like we're looking at a gap close here. Possibly even down to the 12-ish kind of dollar point. 20 moving average held twice before. That's probably the area. Maybe around 14. Pre-market 14.87. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see that dip into the 14. There should be hopefully a buyer here for you. But yeah, that gap's getting filled right now to the downside. Good luck on CLNE. Ben Ferguson, $2. CCIV. Thomas Donegan says, time to pour into the SQQQ, which is, of course, the short Nasdaq. CCIV. We have looked at this one a few times, but we'll do it again. Big movement up. Starting to kind of crap out just underneath the 60 here. Did find some bearish pressure. We have to go into the really small time frames to figure out what's happened before. I think I came to the conclusion it was a little bit overbought and it's due for a pullback. My conclusion was it might come down to this $50, hit the 50, hit a 20 on the 1 hour at least. At the same time, you're hitting a psychological, and all of those things hopefully act to find some buying pressure. I'm not bullish on it at this price at all. I think the movement's too severe recently, and that's hyper, and it needs to come and form some structure for the next move. Could be wrong. That's the technicals, though, my thoughts. Peculiar says AAPL. Yes, AAPL is breaking through the trend line. For anyone that's not aware, AAPL, here's the longer term trend line. This trend line goes all the way through to literally the pandemic lows. That was broken and closed below. We're now looking at a 128 open, down 1.6% here.
I'll take your entire stock.
That's pretty crazy. 1.6%. Quick reminder, if you're here and you haven't hit the like button, if you're enjoying this stuff, help me out. Click the like, it gets us seen. Also subscribe if you enjoy the content. I really do appreciate all the growth and support recently. It's been awesome, guys. Thanks so much. 128.78 down 1.5. I'm thinking 125. Previous resistances became support potentially. That might be even too high. I mean, if we keep seeing sell-offs, Apple could get under the 125. Remember the point of how big this is as part of the Nasdaq. We saw before, Apple is weighted at 11.51%. So Apple and Tesla, if the sentiment's bad on them, these stocks really bash around the Nasdaq a lot. Brett Connolly, Australian $5. Thank you very much. Says 18 hours, days, and TA. You working 18 hours, Brett? Or are you telling me I'm working 18 hours? I might have today. It's possible. I've been working some insane hours, but that's all right. Thank you very much for the donation there, Brett. Michael Hanan, $2. New to the game, love you.
I'll take
your
your
life.
entire stock.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thoughts on QS? Quantum Escape. Have we looked at this one today? Down 6.79 to the 62 in the pre. Did break out. Okay, let's have a look here on the weekly. Oh, yeah, we've done this one. Look at so many things. We've done this one. It's actually better than I expected. So the thought process here was we got the base, we got the sentiment, kind of like what the GME AMC guys need. They need some kind of sentiment base with the breakout. We have the breakout. I feel like it could go up to the 70, find previous resistance, pull back down to the 62 or 60, which is kind of what it's doing right now. So it may just go to the 60, and there could be buying pressure here. Now, let me have a look on the hour and show you. So the 20 moving average was found once support, and still, it's obviously 20 behind. So this is exponential. So here's the previous resistances. Resistance here with the long leg, doji, then the breakthrough and close above. Any pullback back to this zone hopefully is met by buying pressure, but I don't mind how it did this, and I'm sure the volume looks good as well. So if we load volume on these charts, when you see consolidation, always chuck volume on there. See the volume increases, makes sense because the stock's coming through. And sometimes I like to see a little bit of accumulation volume randomly before the break. So it looks like someone added some positions in here, got a little bit sneaky, and then it broke through. It's nice. The 60 is a good zone. ZOM, Exxon. A stock we liked months ago and probably like a little bit less now. So we're back to the point of where it kind of hyped up to during that last bull run, and then it sold off. Now, it's interesting that oil stocks are actually still suffering. So Woodside Petroleum in Australia, Santos, so many of these stocks aren't actually recovering very well. The energy sector's recovering overall, but the old giant demon behemoth things are not coming through as well as the others. We're about to hit that 55. I feel like we can hit that 55 relatively fast. Pre-market's down 0.51. It's probably not going to be knocked around too much. I would put it in comparison to US oil. If US oil goes up to 65, which is our expected target over the medium term here, or very short term, I guess, that would probably put Exxon into that price. So for Exxon, my thoughts are 55, and a break of 55 could trigger buying fairly quickly to fill this large gap up to the 65 bracket. After that, I would be done with Exxon. I don't believe Exxon can get back to these previous highs ever. I really don't. I do not believe in this company over that period. What do you guys think? These energy old behemoth stocks, will they ever return to their all-time highs? Yes or no? Let me know. Let me know. AMC supposedly running. We're about half an hour away from the open now, so we'll start to dial in on a few of these stocks that people have been watching. AMC now up 6% pre. This is a very good sign here. Let's get rid of all these random lines that are around. So, AMC people. All right. This is the first day you've had some exciting news in a little while. You had that 15% on Tuesday, with all of the shilling that went on through the weekend. Then it couldn't hold it. $6. See how it's coming to the resistance straight away. Let's break down the 1 hour here. Get your diamond hands up if you're in these stocks. A lot of people say no way. Kevin says no way. Richard, no. Quite a few people saying there's no way Exxon gets back to those highs or the other behemoth stocks. I totally agree. $6, $6.50 is your next resistance. Previous support, previous resistance. This is critical because look at this pressure here. All of this is structure formation. We were looking at a random stock. I forgot what it was. 3 minutes ago, we got a donation for it. I think it's the robotics thing. And it made structure and broke out. Here, we are seeing pressure coming back in after structure formation. That is very good. A close above this zone on an hour should trickle to a 650. A close above a 650. Very nice. Every 50 cents. 7, previous support, acting resistance. AMC is every 50 cents. Watch it closely. But there is a chance you get back up to a 7 or an 8 here on AMC. Anything's possible. You need to get above 6 first. GME, let's take a look at that one. We're up 3.74. Someone told me off saying GME was better than AMC before in terms of pre-market. I guess you're right. AMC is better. GME not showing as much. So it's up 4%. basically, $47.72, still has to contend with the $48. Notice the pre-market right into the resistance. The first half an hour is the key with all these stocks. So if you're looking at GME, AMC, those types of things, always follow the fact that they usually make an open into the resistance. They struggle around that point. Look at how it's making a series of lower highs. I don't like that. We need to start busting out above these lower highs and moving forward. 52, 56. I'm not even interested at all sentiment wise until it gets at least above the 56. And then you're going 60, above that 70, above that probably 90 again. Fish and Funk says 20 trending stocks versus swaggy stocks. Let me just look up swaggy stocks. So US 500 looks to be doing the prediction we thought, which is getting to that 3,900 level. We're at 3,904. Swaggy stocks. How good is this website? Let's have a look. Hey, I like it a lot. I like it because of the image. That's cool. Thanks very much for this one. Sweet. Swaggy stocks. Nice. I'm going to copy this into my list to share with people. Very cool. All right. What do we got here? Oh, there's like a little earnings calendar. Seems broken, but they're probably... Nah, that's not good. So what's happening here? Real-time sentiment. Let's see how much better this is than the other one. Ooh, it's got like very cool graphs. Tesla. What's the SPY sentiment? Positive sentiment. Hey. I wonder if I could time this sentiment with the market literally getting crapped on. I like this. I'm going to share it with you guys. Cool. There's probably some good stuff in here. I'll check this out later. Top YOLOs. I love it so much. I love this one too, the Stonk Slab. I like this Afria double diamond hand. That's cool. All right, well, we won't look at this one too much now because I'll probably just sit there and start clicking around and finding it. But we'll be bringing that into the stream, next stream for sure. I love it a lot. AMC continues to move. Few people saying 643. Damn, look at this, guys. AMC. Nice. Welcome to everyone coming in here today. Thanks to the 1,220 people that are joining us. We're only about 26 minutes away from the open, guys. Not long now. 3,900 broken. We just got 3,900 is pretty much sitting there. Let's get into a 4-screener so we can watch some of these. We'll switch the screen up. We'll get rid of these nasty light colored ones. We'll get some darks going in there. I've got to... I don't know why this doesn't save. I've got to set that for you guys. All right. Let's set it all up. So here's our AMC. Get that onto probably a 5-minute chart. I know Siddharth wants me to get on a 1 minute. We're not going to get on a 1 minute right now. Look at the pre. Look at the pre go into resistance. 650. All right, we need an hour. We actually need the hour because it's so crazy on the pre. Okay, cool. This is great. I hope you guys get a 650. 650 on the pre here. AMC up 15%. That's right into the strong resistance with the base formation that's formed. Obviously, things are hyped. Let me see on the hyping index how things are going here for AMC. Yep. It's definitely trending a lot harder than it was. So people are getting on board, kind of knowing about that one. I don't think just don't get your hopes up that it's going back to those last points. We need Tesla in here because Tesla's going to, of course, open down 2.52% and could have some big bearish pressure come through. Probably go 15-minute on Tesla. Read the room in just a few seconds. GME supposedly running. Interesting and exciting. PLTR is not currently running, down 7.31. GME up 6.6. I guess we'll watch them. All right, get this down to a 15-minute chart so we can see where it's happening. GME has more work to do. Little bit sell off there, and we'll keep the US 500 up here on the top right. US 500 is testing the support out. So we thought it would come around 3,900. It's pretty much doing that. I'll take your
entire stock.
Critical point straight on the open there. For AMC holders, this is good news. 650 break would be very strong. It would show more strength coming through as well. AMC ripping, says Neo. Quite a lot of people exciting for that one. Fly Rodu, $2. Thank you very much for the donation. And again, with another $2, VTGN. Okay, we'll do VTGN. So AMC is ripping decently, 14% still holding. Tesla down 2.45. GME, GameStop up 6. And the market is finding pressure back down to the 3,900. Let's quickly do VTGN.
I'll take your entire stock.
Let's quickly do this. Up 14.56%. You can see the monthly is very nasty for this one, but it has found buying pressure off the previous resistances. That monthly was hideous. Go to the weekly. Okay, not bad. Go to the daily. Yep, some structure was there. It's broken through. I don't know if it holds the 237 on the open. Possibly comes back down to a 220. At least after falling, it can traded some consolidation. You can see there's some volume there as well. Quite nice volume across the board in that consolidation or market structure. Now that we've broken, or at least we're going to open above here, I expect pullback and then movements above 250. Any close above these wicks should trigger back to the just under 3. So these are the things that you want to be looking at when you're following this one. Another donation. Was there another donation? No, I think I've already catched that. So short squeeze, people are getting excited. We've got to follow where the action is here. So 3,900 market, 624 AMC, Tesla 780, and pre-market GME 49. Kevin says, play the intro, Tom. Kick it. Old school. All right, guys, we're going to play the intro. We're going to get ready for literally this thing to go to the moon, hopefully, for you boys and girls out there. Let's have a look. Get the intro going on. You guys might enjoy this. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy this one, remember you got to subscribe. Here we go. Bring it over. All right. Get the countdown for 10. Get the rockets raised. I want to see rockets up. I want to see diamond hands for everyone with the AMC squad. And hopefully you enjoy this one, guys. That doesn't get you excited for the AMC, maybe not the risk warning, but that won't get anyone excited. But if that doesn't get you excited for the pre-market pump here, I don't know what does. Oh, and the US 500 is coming under 3,900. I'm excited for that as well. I love seeing, you guys get excited about the market, but I also like seeing the market pull back when it should. So hopefully it continues to do that. Why is AMC going higher? Let me try to figure it out. Someone in the community might know though, so definitely share it. It could just be a bunch of people hyping it across the board. It's formed structure. People have decided, hey, there's a good opportunity here. Is it news related? Let me have a look. Bunch of call expiries happened. Not sure if that's... I'm just seeing a whole bunch of this on stock tweets. So funny. Amazon buyout talks. Is that still a thing, Kevin? AMC and Amazon are talking. We suggested or thought about that earlier in the week, didn't we? We were talking about whether Netflix or maybe Amazon would consider that. Pumping it to weed out the paper hands, says Keen Sweep. Simon is at the most recent news. Netflix and Amazon might purchase. I thought that news was already in there. A few people saying DFE is testifying today, so that could be why it's moving up as well. It's possible. 48.82 for GME, by the way, pre-market up 6, while the stock market is finding literal support. We are not far off the market opening now. A little bit over, 17-ish minutes. 650, the point to watch for AMC. Down here on the lows, we're talking about the 540s where it was. It cleaned $6. I'd like to see it hold. So what that means is we want to see a open. We're probably not going to open above 650, but never say never. Then if it does pull back, it's probably going to pull back to 6. Find hopefully buying pressure. That would be nice. That you want the buying pressure at 6 and then move up through. Look at this stock market here, 38.98. Let's go to the screeners quickly. Let's have a quick look at the future screener, see what's moving. VIX should be spiking. There goes the VIX. Copper coming down. Dr. Copper, usually a bit of a sentiment for the markets. US dollar as well. Let's have a quick look at US dollar. 90.678. 90.678 is bouncing off that zone we drew before. Did I have dollar index with the draw up lines? There it is, the 38.2 and the 50. The two moving averages, finding some buying pressure through that zone. I'd like to see the 4-hour close up here. Ideally, it closes like there. When it does that, you got that rejection. Then you get a new little high here, and that will create more bullish pressure back into the 91s. It must hold and close above this zone, though, the 90.70 ideally. Remember, if dollar is up, that tends to mean risk off in the markets. Gold 1781 and silver just kind of floating around. Let's have a look at the VIX. VIX starting to spike. It's hitting that level almost, guys. What did we say? 24. We have our alert set for the nice spike to 26, if not even back into the 30s for the volatility index. Very interesting zones for it as well. Crypto, how's crypto holding up? Pretty well. Bitcoin 51,728. Government testimony, says Janine. VIX pre-market just went through it, Jose, but thanks very much for asking it. John N says, looks like the SPY is going to bleed hard today, though. It's all about getting underneath the 3,900 and closing under there. Probably the first hour needs to do that. The market's been incredibly resilient at holding through, but there are signs. Apple's trend line, Tesla's break of the section. We talked about the Nasdaq index components. All of those companies really are starting to show weakness there. 604 pre now, so a little bit more out of that one. Let's go to the screener. Twilio now up 8. What happened to ARE? Just disappeared. Maybe this is not correct. Oh. So Twilio up the top, LabCorp, not much green now. Not much green now, but negatives. Futu, Walmart straight into the support. Baidu, Billy, Enphase Energy, Square also getting smacked around. 262 straight into the 260 sup. I think Square's got more of a decline coming in there. Extreme Panda, sorry, I'm going to have to put you in a bit of a timeout there. Alan says, you woke up all my neighbors throwing rocks at me now. Was that with the video clip? Must have been. Jose says, Apple pre-market is going down. It certainly is. It certainly is. Amazon rumor buying it from Forbes. All right, let's bring this up. I'm not so sure, but this is actually a rumor. You know, interesting. So look at the rumor here. Rumor, is Amazon trying to buy? Look at the date on that one. Look at the dates. Huh. So it's been in talks for a long time. Interesting. Always the panda says ProBot. Absolutely it is. Is the Amazon talks true? Probably not. Look at Qantas, says Kevin. Not the airplane company, I hope, Kevin. TRCH is going to pop off again. Speaking of anything with a T in it, how are the marijuana stocks going in the watch list? So we did have some pre-market up there. TLRY, of course, reported yesterday. Avia, oh, that's mine. GME, 5. AFA, now only 4. So 4 on TLRY, 4 on Afria. Afria tends to do a bit better than TLRY at this stage. Planeteer down 7, even with that Cathy Wood kind of information. 3,900 coming in here. 13 minutes away from the market open. Not long now. Let's go through a few other stocks while we wait. DXY. 6 degrees says Tom, CLDR. Okay, let's do it. CLDR. Cloud area. Cloud something. Let's go to the weekly. Okay, so it's a company, technology package software. Did a heavy decline after IPOing. That's pretty traditional. Kind of took that 12 to 18 months to bottom out. Pretty traditional as well. It's moved up recently. Resistances around the 18 and the 20 has sold off before. It's kind of getting close to that point where you expect to sell off. That's on the weekly. Going into the daily 20. I don't know if I like the current price of it, but I could see it very easily getting to 20 or something and then coming back down to the 20 moving average exponential, then buying off this level and moving above it. The trend's intact. Everything looks good. It's due for a pullback. It's very clear it's due for a pullback. I think the 20 moving average would be an interesting zone. You can also see some resistance through there as well if it was quick today. Good luck on CLDR. SOS, says Aaron. We've done this one quite a lot of times as well. Looking at a 10 right now. Go to the weekly. We'll quickly switch over to the other screen when we're doing these analysis sections. So this one is back down at the key level of around $10, which is the... What did I say before? Let me have a look here. I'm not even sure if we had this one. Yeah, it's really tough. Basically 20 moving average, but I don't like it. I do not like it. The way these two candles interacted, the weird hype that came back into it, 1060. Look, you can look at the 10, but I would tend to think that it's better to go for the previous structure, which is around that $8. So the pullback could be kind of severe here for SOS. It's a big run up. It might be trying to fill that gap range as well. It's already had what looks like a bit of a blow off kind of event. It went hard up, pulled back hard, went up again, and now it's finding weakness. I don't like it too much, I must say. Sorry, Aaron. Okay, back to this one, since we're only 10 minutes away from the open. Pre-market AMC above the first resistance of 6 with the 616. Supposedly it's Amazon considering buying them, guys. If you're new here, definitely consider subscribing, of course, and hitting that like button if you're enjoying what you're seeing. Tesla 777 breaking underneath the channel, the long-lasting channel there. We will just quickly do the analysis on that. Here is the channel. Structure breakout below these previous wicks. Go to the 2 hour, you'll see what I mean. Hammer, rejection candle, testing from the bottom up. If you want to go and have a look at today's video that I made on the channel, I think it really exemplifies this kind of thought process. We're now moving back down. We're getting possibly a close today under here, and that will trigger selling, I believe, down to the 700 for Tesla and possibly 650. It doesn't mean I'm super bearish on it. It just means that this is the first time in pretty much ever for a long time since the beginning of 20, that Tesla has created structure that then has broken to the downside. Every other structure has been bullish. Every single one has been bullish except for this one. All right, let's switch over here. Can you do SPY? Yep, we can do SPY. Extreme Panda says, please talk about QS stock. We'll have a chance. 7 million sell shares in PLTR, DT Earth says. Tesla 20 week is 634, says Kevin. Yeah, the weekly is really far away, Kevin. That's true. Qantas terrifies me. You know I hate airplane companies, guys. I hate them. Don't buy airplane companies. I hate them. If they fall out of the sky, you lose like 30% in one day. The risks suck, and this pandemic didn't make it any easier. They burn cash, and they need a lot of government support. If you're not getting any sound, Johnny, maybe refresh. Everyone can hear me, yeah? 3,900 coming in for the market open. I'm pretty hyped for this in the next 7 minutes. Let's do some SPY analysis here. We'll do the SPY analysis. US 500. What are our thought processes? So the weekly 20 is certainly a target if we get a proper correction. I think it could spike through it as well and hit the previous resistance around 3,600. That is the correction aspect if we do keep falling off. Now the trend line here is incredibly good on the SPX. So look at the SPX code to find the way of the trend line. The trend line is just so good to the resistance here. So yesterday, SPX, what happened? Went to 3,900, bounced off it. These are all wicks as well. We get a close underneath 3,900. That exposes, of course, the 20 moving average, which was previous buy pressure across the board here on the SPY. That's the next level. Previous resistances, could be some buying pressure there. But we get underneath there, we go to the 50, 3,800 zone. So there's 3 critical zones that happen. Now we get under there, I truly believe we go into 3,600 land. And it makes sense with a lot of pullback trajectories this time of year, everything like that. What do I think about April this year? I feel it is an incredibly bullish month. If we get the correction, April is statistically amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing time. I love April. Through like 100 years, it's been good. We've looked at NEO, probably go back to about 10 minutes into the stream. My thought process will be the same. Dom Cobb, SPX looks similar pattern to this time last year. Don't think we'll get 30% correction this time though. I agree with you, Dom. So many things. Like what date is it? 18th of Feb. Like why? What is this? 19th of Feb last year. Look at this. Is that some kind of freakish similarity that we're so close in the back of Feb and we're getting it? Wonder what the year before was like in Feb. I can't remember. Don't think it was negative. 28th of Feb, there was a decline. So late Feb, there was a decline. A little bit of a pullback there. April was great. May was crap. June was great. Statistically, it is. October was better than expected. So actually, it's very close to last year's dates where we are right now. So the similarities are there. I've seen a lot of YouTubers say, oh, yes, we're going to crash and things. Look, I do think we deserve a correction, but there's a lot of money in the system. And these tech companies, they make up a huge part of the index. They make money. How can you think that it's going to crash when most of the companies that are already dying and kind of, Carnival and stuff like that, they don't make up enough percentage. They just don't make up enough percentage. Can you look at TRIT? We're about 4 minutes away, so we'll probably go over to this and then we'll come back and look at some stocks as we open. So let's now have a look at our screener. Let's get over to the 4 screen. 3902 for the SPY US 500. GME holding a 47.70, up 4% now. It was a lot better before. AMC down to 593 pre. So that was a real flash in the pre-market, but maybe people are going to get support and say, oh, well, it's cheaper than it was. I saw it at 640 pre-market. When my Robinhood account opens, maybe they'll be buying it. These are, of course, very gamblery. What do you guys think for today? Up or down S&P 500 for today? Up or down, let me know. I'm going to get mine ready. I'm going to say what I think. All right, I've got it typed in. As you guys put yours through, I'll put my one through. Alan says, short Tesla Tom question, not financial advice. I'll let you come to your own conclusions there, Alan, based on the structure, based on everything else. Takula Kevin says, you forgot money is free and unlimited, so now 5% down is a crash. That's probably true, Takula. Brett says, been hearing that's going to crash for 8 months. Yeah, it's not gonna crash. They can't afford it to crash. Here we go. We've got down. I gotta put mine in. I'm gonna go with down today. Down, up, cheap. Elite says cheap. Is that an answer? Down for real and then cheap. Down. Ethem doesn't like it. Just does not like it at all. Sideways down. I don't know. Wow, look at this. I don't like it when everyone says down. You're all meant to say up. The sentiment's meant to be super bullish. And then it goes down. LCKO coming in from T-Brush. We did look at that one. So we're 2 minutes away from the market and we've got the bell ready. We are ready. Henry says down if Yellen does not dump money into the market. Alan says Qantas, no card, no fly. Do you get like a vaccine card? Is that a thing? Jose says buy the dip, down across, rocket from Heavy Funk Monk. Someone just bought a lot of Tesla, CA said. 3,500. A few people are thinking that. Okay, here we go, guys. Get the countdown ready. Get the rockets ready. Maybe the negative rockets today. We are coming into the market at a 3,900. The US 100, the Nasdaq is trading at 13,549. Here we go. 30 seconds. Quick pre-screen. Random stocks. Yep. Okay. Afria doing better than TLRY. Screener here. Oh, do we have time? Not really. Pre-market. Twilio. Okay. Walmart, etc. Still down. Same as before. Okay, here we go. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. And we're open, guys. We're off to the races. Looks like AMC actually opened at a 580, so underneath the 6. US 500, right around that 39. First 5-10 minutes, maybe half an hour, might show a sentiment. I'd like to see it close underneath 3,900 before I really consider anything moving down further. VIX at 10% up, Dimitar says. I see the VIX at a 23.6 right now on the right-hand side. You can see it here. You can also see PLTR did open 7.72 down. 3,900, GME 47.49, and Tesla 782. So someone said there was a big purchase there. I will have depth for you soon in the stock as well, so you can see the big chunks get hit, which will be nice. Depth's very important. AMC now up to the 6. What's the Nasdaq doing? 13,547. AMC pushing the 6. Zoom in on this one a little bit. There we go. 605. It's getting through. 650 next target if we do get a close above this zone. Some selling pressure coming in there. Looks like GME is 5% up. That's not too bad. Go to the market. Percentage change. Let's go. Twilio is up. Everything else almost completely down in the big companies. As expected, the ones that were down are opening down. Alibaba down 2.67. Shopify down 2.6. It's another down day after its earnings report. That's actually getting closer to previous resistance. They could have support now. Splunk really getting dominated in this market. Splunk has not been doing well for some months. Down 2.43%. Square also down. Here we go. There we go. 616. Oh, we're playing the video if we get through 650. The video is happening through 650. I'm excited for that. Tesla actually buying 786 while the S&P is dropping. So retail community purchasing up Tesla. That's what it is. Heavily owned by the retail community is the Tesla. So the first hour is generally quite strong whenever a dip occurs. Don't get too excited. It's what the big guys do at the end of the day. Planet Musk Vlog says, did you say 650 or 750 on Tesla? I said 700. 700 to 650 is, well, 700 is the structure breakdown too. But we need to see a close underneath today. OG Nibiru says, market is all red. Buy. So AMC 607. We can't be playing the intro again, Kevin. No, only if it gets past 650. Big sell-off right there. 623 down to 6. Tesla all of a sudden got crunched a little bit there. S&P still holding the 3900 fort. So we're coming into the first 5 minutes here. 2 more minutes to go. There it goes. Tesla now starting to short off a little bit. Initial dip buying, possibly by Robinhood. BTC trading at a 52,000, just went back up to it. Dollar index 96.75. Gold and silver basically flat as a tack. VIX is 23.2. So volatility index has not really spiked much extra yet. We're looking at a VIX wanting it above a 24. XRP doing its thing, and ETH, of course, trading strong at 19.19. Okay, what can we say? I'm looking at the SPY the most here. The SPY is the key. AMC and Sundial. Is Sundial actually up? SNDL is super dangerous, up 3%. TLRY moving up. We'll look at TLRY in just a few moments. Okay, well, I guess we're done with the screen here. Keep me watched, or keep me posted on those. Let's go into a few specific stocks. Thought process on SPY, possibly down to here today if we get through the 3900. Should find some buying pressure around the 20 moving average. So if it does extremely dump, that's what we're looking for. OG Nibiru, welcome to the Stonk Squad. Thanks so much for joining the community. We appreciate it very much, sir.
Wall Street. I'll take your entire
Johnny Knoxville, good to have you here as well. Cheers, Tom. Great stream as always. $5. Thank you very much, Johnny. All right, let's look at TLRY. On the open, up 10. Wow, that's nice. I wonder if AFR is beating this. So TLRY needs to clear the 36. All these rejection wicks. I'm looking for this as the movement. So this is nice. But until it gets through these levels, I want to see a close above this here, 36. Then we go to the 40 zone. The promised 40 zone, most likely. Let me quickly work out on this one. We've looked at RIOT a few times. So TLRY, we're looking at the 36. Afria actually being beaten by TLRY there. Being beaten by TLRY, up 6.5%. Not as much as the other one. Thanks again for joining the Stonk Squad there, OG Nibiru, and Johnny Knoxville for the $5 generous donation. Tesla 785. And the US 500 is bouncing early now, 39.09. So we have not been able to clear that zone just yet. Tesla must close underneath this area here on the daily, ideally. See, yesterday it's the 4 hour got underneath, but not the daily. You're taking out everything at that point and you're really saying, okay, we're in for a pullback. So Tesla we will watch. S&P 500, 39.08. US 100, 13,560. Let's check out Apple. Apple did come in pretty much where it said it would, 128.88. Panda, like, typing it that much, man. I'll do it this time, but don't do that again, please. AA, Alcoa Corporation up 1%. It's not that exciting, this one. This is a aluminium company. What can I say about this? Bounced off 17. Go to the 4 hour. I mean, 2050 cross. Sure, that's bullish. It's in the middle. It's back into the structure. New break high, possibly 24, then 26. You can see 24 will be a struggle point for this, and 26. Good luck on that one. BTC, I saw just moving then. Quick look at BTC. DXY still holding around that area. Nice bullish momentum coming here from Bitcoin. Looks like it's actually going to break a new high towards the 53, even 54. Bitcoin just cannot be stopped right now. It cannot be stopped. Show PayPal. Yeah, all right. Let's have a look at PayPal. PayPal down 2.37. Had a very nice run on it. Go to the daily here. You'll see how extended it really is. This is an amazing movement in the stock. I'm semi-terrified of PayPal's pricing right now. One bad earnings report's all it takes to dump this off, especially after this last move. I could expect decent pullbacks here in PayPal. Be careful on this one. JP Morgan. Again, Alan. What's it doing? It's doing nothing. Why are we looking at this one? I don't know. Go BTC. Yeah, it's just doing so well. The SEC is still on XRP, so remember that's going to keep it down. Let's have a look at this Nasdaq, because the Nasdaq did actually break. It's testing the daily 20 here. Get the Nasdaq in. So a close underneath this little zone. Previous wick buying 200 plus, that is basically the 20 on the daily. It's a critical zone. US 500 coming back down, testing the 3900. Oh, all right. Here we go. Let's go to a 1 minute chart. We're on a 1 minute, Siddharth, if you're here. All right, putting pressure straight on that zone. 38.98 right now. If you're here and for the first time, if you're enjoying the stream, please remember subscribe, support the channel. Thanks for giving us a thumbs up. We've got 1,080 people joining us, over 17,000 through the stream. Appreciate it so much. Multiple members to the community. That's awesome. Donations and heaps of likes. So I do appreciate that. 3,900, buying again. Should we buy Apple's as Elite Pac-Man? Well, think about the trend line that Apple has. Look at the daily. Look at the break there. Usually Apple stops at $5 increments. So consider that as well. That's probably pushing to a 125 for Apple. You've got to make your own decisions though, obviously. E-Hang. Yeah, we might have a look at that. Is that going hyperactive today, Hans? I do want to see what happens here on the on the SPY though. AMC, back to the fans of that one, $6 still acting as sell pressure. Retail hour for Tesla is being bought up. If we continue to see buying pressure, possibly the 800 acts as the top down kind of resistance, since we did open down quite a lot. GME seems to have crapped out for now. All of the gains that it bought on at the open have now been taken out, only 1.4%. There goes the S&P. So the S&P just broke through 38.97. Oh, instant buy. No 1 minute close. Look at that last 1 second. That last 1 second, some evil algorithm literally just went bang. Buy it up. See that, guys? It was here, and then 1 second later here. It's only a few points, but at the critical level. Christopher Cardenas says 300 shares of PLTR and counting. So it looks like today is the day of the marijuana stocks. AMC, VIX, 23.7 now, and 3,900 holding for the S&P. Now, unfortunately, I am going to have to leave you all again a little bit early today. I do have another meeting tomorrow at 9:30, and that means that at 1:42 in the morning, I won't be able to get up if I leave. Some of the things that I would suggest that you maybe have a look at, this was a cool addition for today. It was the Stock Labs SwaggyStocks.com. I'm going to check that out later and bring it onto the stream tomorrow. It's just cool. Remember, CoiFin is excellent. Other programs that are good. MarketWatch is good. FinViz is good. These are free tools that you can use to help improve. TradingView is the best technical analysis software out there, but it's a bit annoying when you use the free version, I must admit. So 3,900 will be the key zone. Some buying pressure coming into the S&P just quickly there. It looks like the Nasdaq is going to put pressure down, but it must get underneath those previous lows and actually close a day, like a daily or at least an hour, because we did just hit the 20. And other than that, I would be basically saying this is the hour of retail. The first hour is always the hour of retail. Look for the close today, and if I have time, I'll make a video tomorrow for you guys to give you an update on my thoughts. But yeah, good luck everybody, and hopefully you make some money. Bye from now. All right, guys. Catch up. Thanks so much. Remember to subscribe if you do enjoy it. Thanks heaps for the likes and the donations today and the new members. Appreciate it a lot. What do you say? Hooroo from